Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Sorry about that. Yo, No Maniacs. Welcome into another edition of Nomad at Night. We're here to rock it out with y'all, man. Everything we've been waiting for is finally here. The season is upon us now. We got football players at Hallis Hall working out, getting ready to put it all on full display. We got a injury report that I will put up on the ticker here in a minute so you guys can see the actual camp designations for each of these injuries, and we'll sort through all of that individually, man. We'll talk about it all. And I got a edge rusher. I don't know how people are gonna feel about it, but one of the guys that's out there is a free agent. That's Kansas famous word, low wallet share. Can help us out here, man. We're gonna talk about some other stuff about whether or not Ryan Poles should make some moves here between now and the end of training camp. May have to, never know what happens during training camp. Knocking on wood, but there's some as a matter of fact, before we even get going on that, they did bring in 4 safeties, and we just talked about that as recent as last week about me feeling a certain way about the depth of that safety group, and they brought in 4 right before camp, and I don't know if they signed anybody yet, but we'll try to keep an eye on the news and see if anything happened between now and the end of the show. But so let's just get right on into it, kids. Let me go and give you an alley-oop, man. You shouldn't have ate so much. It's on you if you can't get it.
I can always get it, man. I got hands, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Either way, welcome in, y'all. It's Sunday night. Time for Nomad at Night. We'll do it like we always do. Good to have my homies here with me. Good to have y'all here with me. Shout out to Juju, AC Adam, Ron Winarski's with us. Don Burr's here. But whatever, you know what I mean. It's a Sunday. We're gonna go through it as per normal and get the job done. I do, not a whole hell of a lot cracking with the kids since last Wednesday as far as personal things are concerned. So we can kind of skip over me. But before we do, and I throw it right down to Triple R, I do want to give some love to one Kyle Shanahan. So Kyle Shanahan, according to Adam Schefter, as well as a few other reporters out there, has been in from what I'm hearing, 14-car accident. He was able to walk away from this accident in some capacity, maybe not walk, but maybe stretchered away. I don't believe anybody passed in this accident. I think it's been all right. Hey, Jay Grizz, good to have you, brother. I don't believe anybody passed. It sounds like Kyle is definitely worse for wear. Give a shout out and give a little bit of love to the 49er fans out there. In the midst of Brandon Ayuk holding out and all that, Kyle may not be with the team for the better part of the early part of this season. I don't know if this will take him out just beyond training camp or maybe a couple of weeks into the season, but he's got a busted nose among many other things. So he's definitely going to be holding it down.
Like his whole damn face got rearranged.
Yeah, it said stitches in the face, busted nose, something with the jaw, like 4 ribs, and a concussion.
Yeah, he smashed his head on the wheel. as part of that. I wasn't sure if there was anything else, but it doesn't sound great. But the real upside is, again, he's alive and able to conduct business in some capacity, and will be back, in 49ers land there sooner than later. But again, just wanted to give a little bit of love to Kyle Shanahan, because personally, I respect what he does in a major way. I think he's one of them apex offensive geniuses, a la Ben Johnson, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Just got to give a little bit of love to that case scenario, that situation out there in San Francisco.
I hope his ass wasn't drinking.
I think that's kind of the under implied thing. So nobody knows what Guan, as me and my Jamaican friends would say. But I'm sure the realities there will come out as we get a bit deeper into the situation.
Because it wasn't like it was whereas Tony Romo. But we know he was doing something.
Straight up.
I forgot about the Romo thing. But less of a shout out.
Go ahead. Thank Trips don't forget shit, man. He ball busting time now.
No. He's right though. He's right to bust balls. This is recent. We ain't talking about
this week.
We ain't talking about who's the other guy.
That was it Combine weekend or something in Indianapolis. Yeah. Where he running sprint. No, that was Sanchez. That was Dirty
Sanchez. That's who it was. It was Sanchez that was running around stabbing people and stuff.
No.
Hey,
yeah,
allegedly, man. Allegedly.
His face, he looked like the Joker. You know what I'm saying? With that, you better ready to cause some mayhem.
Damn.
Hey.
But yeah.
And it was like, so yes. He got locked up. He ain't gonna stay locked up. We know how that go. He got the complexion for the protection. So he'll be out. And then Kyle. Hope he rests up, heal up. It's very precarious. You be minding your own business, and then somebody gets out of their lane, literally and figuratively, and it fucks your whole day up.
Pun
you know what I'm saying? So, good looks to everybody who made it here from, Wednesday on some extra sauce to tonight, for Nomad at Night. These scant few days ain't, guaranteed and or promised.
No shit, Shirley. And shout out to Smitty Q. Even if you're not with us right now, Smitty, we know you're out there on the roads all the time, and who knows what could go down, man. So you stay safe while you're out there, brother.
Right. And keep it under double nickel.
10-4.
Watch out for Smokey.
Before we get all the way into football, I guess I talk about, unless you got something, Trips, you want to talk about this week.
No, it's everything's everything.
Okay. Well, my girlfriend's on vacation. She's been on vacation since 9:00 Friday night. And, I'm gonna give her a shout out, but a little chide at the same time. Thank you. She came with me over to the house and helped me out at the other house to, with the work I'm doing over there. And that's hard, bro. It's hard work, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's hard work. All I did was give her a pair of snippers, little, branch cutters and shit like that. And she's doing a good job. I didn't ask her to do nothing crazy, but it's out there in the heat. And today, we was working on the house today, and she came out with me to help me out outside. And today was a little warmer than yesterday. Well, a lot warmer than it was yesterday. And man, bro, I could see like she was fighting through it, man. But towards the end, man, she staggered coming up in this house, man. And I just gotta give her some props, man, because she on vacation. I told her, I talked her into it, because I was like, hey, man, when you're on vacation, part of vacation is it's not simply to go somewhere. It's about rejuvenating yourself. You know what I mean? And I told her
that sweat's good.
Yeah, that sweat is good for it, man. You know what I mean? You're gonna feel a whole lot better when you do go back, because you got a lot of that toxin out of your body. I know she ain't like it, boy. She was mad as fucking. I know she was cussing me out.
Yeah, but as long as make sure it drinks a lot of water, hydrates, maybe if you got some electrolytes or Pedialyte, instead of like Gatorade or something, to replenish all her salts,
Dog, man, I gotta tell you guys, there's literally about 30 big groundhog holes at my mother's house, all around the foundation, all over that damn yard. It's like 30 big, huge. It's almost like bear dens. They so damn big. They've been back there for so long, and they just all over the place back there. And so every time you go back there, you gotta, you take a bucket and a stick and kind of beat the drum so everybody runs into their place. But man, it's gonna be, by the time she get that water turned on, it's gonna look like a damn zoo out there. Because I'm gonna stick the holes in the holes one by one and run them out of there. But man, you ought to see how many big, huge holes are there, man. When a property is uninhabited for a while, man, they really make home there. I don't want to hurt any one of them. Just can't live here, homeboy. I'm sorry.
Like all I can think right now is like, here I am on this show, you're telling this story, and I'm clean out of an Elmer Fudd meme. I don't have an Elmer Fudd clip to run through. There's no the other one that popped.
I tried Jay Grizz. Trust me, I tried that shit.
There's also TNT.
But that's Caddyshack,
Only thing that worked,
got that going for me. But don't just think that you're gonna put a little hose up in there and they just gonna run the other way. You evicting them from their home. They might come out with teeth and claws bearing that.
You better make sure you standing on a platform that they can't get to you. I got a nice little step.
Oh, he's got a. This is a definitely Looney Tunes episode waiting to happen.
Trust me, I've been through this at my house. I'm still dealing with it. You know what I mean?
That's because, nature.
The only thing that worked Jay Grizz so far was smoke bombs. That worked. That got him up out of there.
Damn,
like smoke bombs in there and covered the hole up. They want it out of there. Another one that worked. I take a stick, get a nice piece of shirt or a towel or something, put a whole bunch of ammonia and apple cider vinegar on that thing and stick it up in there and cover that hole up. Here's the bad thing about it. When you do that, when you cover the hole, they'll just dig it out and the hole will pop up somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll burrow another hole.
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
So it's an ongoing battle. You gotta be, the only thing that works is you either buy a dog or you
should have taken that left turn to Albuquerque.
You stay on top of it and make sure they're uncomfortable being there. That's the only thing you can do.
Hey, get you a little Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh, he'll get his ass. Jack Russell will get his ass hurt. You know how
big burrow in there and dig it out for you.
You know how big these groundhogs are?
Well, that's what the pickaxe is for.
Damn.
I mean,
Jack Russell's just to find it.
Nah, I'm not.
Well,
yeah,
or you could because I mean, where's it gonna go? Because you live in or wherever this property is, it's a neighborhood
next door. I don't give a fuck, but just don't.
So they went to this property because it was uninhabited.
Yeah,
so you're gonna just be releasing some critters onto the hood.
Funny thing about it is there's a empty lot right next to it.
Oh well, that's where they're gonna go.
The thing is, they like to have some kind of surface area to their back, and so which is why they put all the holes all around the foundation.
Well, you're gonna have to deter them from coming back because once they subterranean, even if they next door, they just right back, under the fence.
I'm just gonna buy a giant puppy. Is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a big puppy, but it's gonna get big, and we're gonna go from there. She don't know it's coming, but I'm gonna get a big ass puppy.
I don't know, man. I got a bunch of ideas for you. All of them come from Looney Tunes episodes, and I can also see how each one will fail. So I'm just gonna kind of shut the fuck up.
So they have their merits and their negatives.
They did not work out for Wild E. Coyote. So I don't know.
Or the Fudd man.
No, the Fudd's constantly losing. So I got
what else is back there?
Cayenne pepper, Nomad. Problem solved, Juju says.
I've tried that too. I think I can go harder on the cayenne peppers. I'm gonna have to buy two people.
So you're just lightly spiced. You're lightly spiced.
I use a little bit of cayenne. I can't tell you if I was greatly successful or not but I didn't find it to be. I'm gonna try that a little bit more too. That probably is a little annoying. So yeah, man, dude, that house, whoever was living there, they got old school clotheslines back there, poles, big steel poles back there for clotheslines, like back in the day.
That's just tetanus waiting to happen.
Dude, I got to get all them shits up. I mean, it's like 7 or 8 of them back there.
Damn.
Oh, so you got work to put in still.
A lot of work.
It's damn near August. You slipping.
Yeah, man, what's wrong with you?
It goes past money and a job. It's about trying to make sure your mom's set up right for what she wants to do. She wants to put an add-on to the house right away, and so I'm clearing the area so that she can do that, and then the rest of the shit I'm just doing.
Well, as long as somebody's there and in the yard doing stuff, it'll keep the critters away. But if you clear them and then there's nobody back there, it's gonna come right back.
So when you add on, is she going to be digging foundation?
Oh yeah, you gotta do a little bit of that.
So then you got to dig that whole thing up, anyways, man. Just dig it up.
See where she's at, where she's going to add on to. The only obstacle is the tree back there and the poles. Now,
so you got another tree to deal with.
Oh, that ain't no me job. That's a big saw.
It's like a massive tree is what
you gotta have somebody to know how to take trees down to get that. Because it's coming down bit by bit.
Oh, you're gonna have to get the roots out and all that. That's a problem.
No, they'll raise that one. Is what they call that. They'll raise
raise the roof. No, raise the tree.
And then just cover it up with your concrete and go over the top of it.
Oh, they're gonna burn it. You're talking.
When you raise it,
when you say raise it, they're gonna burn it down.
No, you raise it. That means you bring it to the surface level, and then you put a substance on it so that it doesn't regenerate anything else.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, she'll have to do that. That thing is wide. When I say wide, you need like a big bar chainsaw.
Ouch. Hi, 20.
What up, man?
Cold-blooded, bro. He's we give a little bit of love to the Niners today because of Kyle Shanahan, and he's aiming the pistol.
All right, let me go ahead and put this up, and we'll give a general conversation about what this means, which don't mean a whole lot. Pre-camp injury report. Everybody has it going on. You see it ticking on the bottom. It's their technical injury destinations. TJ, Kyler, Ozzie Trapillo, Shemar Turner. Who else we got? Noah Sewell, and I think
there's another one.
Linebacker, yeah. Keyshaun
Elliott, the rookie.
That's their technical designations for.
Now the pup they can come off at any time, correct?
Yes. The good thing is every last one of them are on active pup. The NFI that TJ is on is per Adam Schefter is going to be pretty short anyway. And so what I think is going on here is just when they come in and do their physical, most of this shit is out of their control anyway. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna talk to the coaches, man. I think we should hold you out for the first week or so. It's just normal stuff, man. They come in and take their physical. I wouldn't read too much into this shit in July.
So I'm gonna ask the obvious question.
It's gonna be about Kyler. Let me put it.
You know exactly where I'm going.
Well, or you can go there. Let me set the table for you.
Okay.
Because I knew somebody was gonna want to go there.
Somebody, the whole fan base is going there.
They going in hard though.
The fans are hyperbolic, man.
They're going in hard. I gotta say, y'all, like, I get it, but like, calm, cool your jets, right?
Chill,
cool your jets.
Chill.
Be cool. But here's all I'm saying. All I'm saying really is like, do we not know what the injury is yet? Like for real, that don't mean nothing. Like anything could be that could be a bruise. Anything could be a soft tissue injury.
Well,
can we get like an actual viable
to give you some kind of not insight, but I saw Dr. West paging Dr. West there on the Twitter, and he was saying that because it was like a hamstring, groin, quad, all of those muscle groups are in the same area, and it's usually the same leg that it affects. but the strain will move between those muscles because he's doing whatever he's doing and it's not healing up correctly, so it's kind of just traveling between those groups, and so he's not getting the ability to do heal or whatever. I don't know, but it's something along those lines.
So okay, so big ups to Dr. West. Like, I would not be surprised if Kyler is his client at the end of the day. Like, I'll be real about that. Dr. West is legit. Now, the crazy part about all this is just like all I'd like to know is like, where is this injury? Is it in your leg? Is it in your arm? Is it in your pectoral? Is it in your
his
abdomen?
groin?
You know the difference? Do you guys know the difference between the quad and the ham?
Well, one's in the front, one's in the back.
Thanks. Yeah, that would have been my answer as well.
From what I understood about it, it was a
hamstring.
No, I want to.
It's a
quad.
quad.
I think it might have been a hamstring. Somebody else had a quad they was messing with all season last year. They just kept. Might have been TJ or somebody. I don't know, before he got really injured. But yeah, I think he had a ham. Funny thing, I got to tell y'all, man. Funny little story about a guy I went to high school with. I wish I can tell you his name again, because he died, unfortunately.
Oh,
not long ago, man. Unfortunate circumstance. But when that guy probably would have won the state of Illinois 100, 200 meters by a mile. That's how freaking fast he was. I mean, straight up horse, man. But no matter what, he would work and work and work and do everything he was supposed to do. When it was time to cut that baby all the way loose, come up gimping, hamstring. I mean, he would eat the right stuff. I mean, his legs are so muscular.
Huge, huh?
Just huge, man.
Yeah.
Like Ben Johnson from Canada. Like those kind of muscular legs.
The other Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that Ben. I mean, he was huge, man. But sometimes, man, I can't. I don't know what's going on with Kyler, but sometimes a hamstring, if not healed the right way the first time, can freaking linger. If you don't give it the proper time to heal and you push yourself and you get out there too early, that could become a debilitating issue for you.
So, like I'm saying, I respected the answer you gave me, Trip, with regards to Dr. West. It makes sense. Same token, full respect for what Nomad is saying here. I would just like to have an understanding, as part of that designation, where's this injury? Like, are we dealing with multiple different injuries? Like, what are we really dealing with here?
We dealing with somebody who's not on the damn field. That's what we're dealing with, kids.
I'm trying to understand the why behind that, right?
Okay, Naxter.
It's just, I'm sorry. Ouch. I'm trying to find out.
Right. I didn't mean it.
It's okay. I'll accept that one. I'll accept that one.
AC is. Here's what my deep suspicions tell me, and it's just my instincts. I don't know anything. I can't tell anybody any certainties right now. But I think because they've had so much problem with Kyler and the hamstring, he came in and did the physical, probably checked out pretty good. That the trainer asked him something, the doctor asked him something, once in a while when I'm out there working out, I feel a little bit. And so it might not even be Kyler at all. It might be them just being overly cautious with him and say, let's just make sure we get this guy for the long term, in camp, later on in camp and during the season. Right now, ain't no need to push him. It's July. And so that's why I'm not being hyperbolic about it. I'm not going to worry about it. Sometimes this shit's out of their control any goddamn way.
Well, it's injury case scenario, and that's why there's really not much I can say about it or we can do about it, right? It is what it is, and when he's healthy, he'll be on the field. I'm just interested in knowing, when I say it is what it is, I kind of would like to learn a little bit more as to what that actually is. Like, are we dealing with multiple different injuries, or one that is now exacerbated another that is now exacerbated another? Like, what really are we looking at here? But to that degree,
that's something that we'll never get the answer to.
You know what I mean?
Just be thankful that
they told us anything
what's Rockhead Scatty Boo Cam Scatty Boo.
Mm-hmm.
He
I'm so glad we didn't draft that
tore
dude.
up his
Why?
knee.
What's
Remember?
wrong with you?
Well, but he tore up his knee, right? ACL,
Uh-huh.
MCL, whatever was wrong with it, and so he's rehabbing off of that from last season. He was on at some event off the field, and he was trying to do that backflip thing he does, and when he landed, his leg just wasn't there. And so he kept going backwards and he landed on his ass. But of course, he hopped up like, I'm good. But it's like, I bring him up to say that, when Spidey comes back, you ain't got to be doing no more flipping.
I think we were all, and I think as an entire fan base, I think it would be great. And I'm a big comic book fan and all that, but it would be great if we retired the Spider-Man suit. We can still do all that. You know what I mean? Like let's do that.
Right. Just no flip.
Let's retire. Let's retire the Spider-Man suit. We can put that a little bit to rest. No more flipping. Just let's be healthy for a season now that you
can do this with the balls. Bring them in interceptions. Cool. But yeah, no more it was cool when you were young. But you ain't young no more. That was a few seasons ago, old man. Usually crappy veteran that we need you on the field.
One of these days, I wish, this is totally off the subject, but I wish one of the players, at least a 3 to 5 year veteran, would show the day after or the night of and the day after a game of football and show you what people really go through. And you feel like you just got ran over by a goddamn dump truck. Like there's a lot, bro, that goes on with your body after that. It even you can play high school football at a high enough level. The competition level is high enough, like I was in high school. You run into some of that in high school, but in college, you definitely gonna feel that shit after that game. And professional level sped up even more. And so one time I was watching Kyler, his podcast, man. He did a segment where he went and did some working out, went to some restaurant and was trying some food, somewhere. I think he was down in Florida or something, or back in California somewhere. But I can remember him. He was doing it live, I guess, and he turned his chat on. And while he was getting stretched out on the table by the masseuse or whoever it was, he was looking at the comments and he was just like, I want to see y'all come out here and do this shit. This shit's hard. I want to see you come out here and put your body on the line, make these tackles and do all this. I say that to say this, man. Kyler's playing a unique position. And physically, a cornerback shouldn't really have to play the role that they're playing, but that's how the defenses have morphed now. They pretty much dropped the extra linebacker, and you're supposed to be like 25, 30 pounds bigger than you are really to be playing the role that he plays. There's a whole lot of run support in there. And so physically, it's a whooping. It is a real whooping, and you got to be ready for that. The only guy out there on the field, only couple of guys on the field that's smaller than you, and those tackles don't hurt as much, is the receivers. Everybody else, that shit's gonna hurt. Mm-hmm. So realistically, man, I sympathize with it.
So that's not surprising. First thing to say. Second thing to say, if this was like a football related injury, I'd be seconding what you're saying. But we're now sort of, I think, this is now the third non-like football-related injury soft tissue to Kyler. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's actually getting banged up in a game and this is what the results were, hey, man, everything you said is
every day, bro. Every day
they do. Of course they do. But
every day. So that requires a certain amount of, I'm going to have to use it anyway. And so you think they just in the offseason, they just somewhere with their feet kicked up. They work.
But that's kind of the thing, though. It's like you want to have it both ways. It's like we get it. Well, I would think that we get it, but we don't. 2 points. One, the physical pounding that the body takes playing a professional game, on a Sunday, and then they got to turn around and play on Thursday. In that same week is totally asinine. And then, the billionaire profits of the NFL, but they still can't figure out how to get natural grass surfaces for their players, of which all the players want. So yeah, those points for the NFL. But as far as the players go, it's like, look, man, we get it. It's a gladiator sport, but you can't go into a gladiator sport and then complain about people complaining about you crying about a boo-boo as a gladiator. You know, that's kind of part of the deal. It's like, yeah, it hurts. And, you know, you're human. I get it. But it's like you don't go out there and profess like, yeah, I'm this, but it's like, ow, I can't go because I got tendonitis. You know what I'm saying? And like, no, you get your gladiator ass out there.
You know how it is when you turn on a live chat and people got complaints in the fan
Yeah,
base.
people are I'm generally one of those people. But
you can imagine what he's probably reading. So I'd have told him way worse than that. So Kyler was being nice to him.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. Kyler got hurt last season before training camp. So he wasn't even in, you know, like he wasn't in football at all. You know what I mean? Like maybe this was training on his own volition, maybe. Came back many moons later, you know what I mean? Like it's been a couple of months, but he finally eventually got back out there. He's a little ginger and then played some really great football. Boom.
Need
you. Here we are again, right? So like I don't know. Like my level of sympathy is really, you know, like mid at best, because I don't know. If this was like, oh snap, you got hit in the game doing something in the game, brother, I'd be all mad sympathy, mad love. But I ain't seen nothing like that going on.
All I want is whatever it takes. Be ready for late August, early September. That's all I care about. All this stuff is just misdemeanor. They know what they're doing inside the building. He knows what he's doing. Get him ready for regular season when we're gonna need him, when we got meaningful games going on. And after that, if he's still doing with some lingering stuff, then that's a whole conversation I'm game for. But right now, I'm not worried at all.
Well, not the only, but Jay Grizz, yes, Ozzie got injured, I think maybe on grass, but the grass does not stop injuries. But the surfaces that they're playing on, a lot of players attribute those to a lot of the MCLs, ACLs, and Achilles injuries.
You know what, Trip?
Huh?
I was just having a conversation 2 weeks ago with somebody I played with, and I love the field surface, like not the grass, but the field surface, the stuff that
with the pellets
here. That's because I never had a major injury on it, and he was telling me, he's just like, because you never got hurt on it. You never got hurt on it, so you feel a certain way about it. I feel faster, bouncier. Everything feels good, man. Even falling when you tackling, you know, you might get a slight burn, but it ain't gonna be like, oh, remove my skin kind of burn.
So I mean, you prefer it over grass, natural grass?
I would say when it comes to the running aspect, I can't say anything is better than natural grass, but for an artificial surface, man, when you sink your cleats into that shit, man, and you see how you can move, turn, bounce, run, dog, we cornerbacks, man, you got to have everything, man. You got to have it all available to you under your feet, and it provides it. Now, for the people that had their feet stuck in the mud and got bad injuries from it, I sympathize with them, but I just never experienced the ramifications of that surface at all. And so, but I understand what they want. I prefer grass too.
You know, so I mean, if you had your druthers, it's like grass or field turf, or you're taking grass.
Let's just say I would rather play the game on grass, but if I had to time myself, I got to get time, and my 40-yard dash or my vertical jump is going to get measured and scoped, I'm going to be on that surface.
Okay.
But I feel faster on it.
But the other point I wanted to make about Kyler that is concerning is that Ben Johnson is already on record as saying that, I don't know Kyler enough to trust Kyler. And Kyler hasn't been here enough to be reliable enough to get to know or even trust. You know, before you can trust him, you got to get to know him. He ain't been here enough for that. And starting out, 2026, 2027 on the pup, is not the ideal way to start. Now, hopefully, he's able to finish, where he needs to finish, but it's not a good jump off the line, let's say.
Also,
So-
before we go deeper into that Kyler conversation, I want to say this just to correct what I just said. You ask any MF that plays football on any level, if they playing in December and January, what field they prefer to play on in December and January, I guarantee you all of them going to tell you, the turf, the field surface, because that got dang on grass and got no gear to it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Guaranteed, every one of them gonna say, "Give me, I'd rather play indoors on that field turf or something."
Now, not to change the subject, but just a little pie in the sky. If they could, keep a natural grass surface above freezing, in all climates, even outdoors, wouldn't that be kind of ideal surface?
Yeah, that's ideal. If you can keep the grass somewhat fluid and not a frozen concentrate, yeah.
Yeah, but you see, it's just irritating because I know it can be done just looking at renewable sources and how to grow things. The way that some stadiums or the newest stadiums have the rolling services where they just roll it out in one piece into the parking lot when it's not in use, and then when it is in use, they roll it back inside and then park cars there. Well, that same surface, they can put different elements underneath, heating elements that will keep it, at a reasonable temperature, not to cook it or not to alter it a whole lot, just to keep it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you can keep that in the tray underneath the grass surface and just wheel that shit in and out. With these multi-billion-dollar stadiums, it would seem as though that could be a thing.
You don't even have to wheel it in and out. You could just, lower it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could lower it in a situation where it gets, regular water and raise it, add the heat case scenario underneath. You could do all of the above. They do a lot of that shit for many of the soccer arenas out there in Europe. So again, if they are looking at building a stadium somewhere in the Chicagoland area, these are things that should be taken into consideration. But before we jump off this Kyler conversation, I just want to know, do either one of you guys expect him to start this season? And I mean, when do you expect him to start this season?
He'll start.
I expect him to play, but like when?
He'll play right away. I think, again, kids, my instincts tell me that this is them being careful with him, making sure we don't have a repeat of what happened last year. Missing a whole bunch of time. They just want to Cadillac slow his ass through the process. And hey, when you feel all the way right, then we'll let you turn it loose.
The only reason that he should not be on the field day one, play one, is, Lord forbid, a re-aggravation of an injury. Because nothing that they have said or alluded to has been serious enough, for him to be shut down. But soft tissue, it's like, all right, I don't know what you've done these past few months, but it's got to be further along. And, when's the first game? End of August, so another month. If they're babying steps him along now just to, be sure, if he ain't ready by then, it's like
I don't think he gets on the field until October. That's my guess.
I'd rather them Cadillac slow roll this shit with him versus just reacting to what the fans is complaining about, man. I understand the complaints, but
but the fan, it ain't just the fans, right? So if you check the chat, there's been a couple of mentions that like Ben Johnson doesn't love this shit either, right? Like he's out there having very candid conversations with respect to this particular player, and the tone is, I don't even know this guy. I've been here for 2 years. He's kind of been missing in action. He played a couple of games and then went back into missing in action. And here we are, year 2. Brady gave him a little bit of a cussing, but the expectation was that you're going to be here, and you are not here. So like I'm just saying, Ben is not, the fans is one thing, right? And then we can just take the fan conversation right out. Ben don't like this shit. And why I'm saying Ben don't like it, it's not just that he doesn't know the player. What he does know about the player is the vast majority of DA's scheme really focuses it in on this particular player to be dangerous.
Key position.
That's not awesome.
Well, let me answer a quick question by Jay Grizz. He posed this one. He says, would y'all consider Brisker's injury more serious than Kyler Gordon, and he couldn't wait to get back on the field? I'm gonna answer that question and give you some depth. I'm gonna take you to the dark side with this shit, because I'm gonna go ahead and clear the air in this room, because everybody wants to hear this. Yeah, Brisker's injury was more serious.
Of course.
Brisker, Jaquan is never going to lose that zest for the game. He's going to always want to be out there. Jaquan, no matter where he's at, as long as he's playing football, he's just got that to him. Now, this is the dark side for Kyler Gordon, and where my instincts kicked in as well. Listening to Kyler Gordon on that 1 or 2 podcasts, I seen it his. I could tell that he's not the same guy that we got, in his first couple of years with all that zest and vigor and hype, just hyper. You know what I mean? Just extremely hyper. And he was that before we got him. He was just a hyper kid, and they needed to find a space for him to let out some of that energy. And you could tell he just had all that zest. What I got from it, and this is just me and my evaluation of people, it's just all the skills I've gained over the years. I watch and I read. And what I read off Kyler, this is the dark side shit, is like it felt like he was somewhat over it. Like, God damn, it became a job all of a sudden instead of something he really loves to do. And that happens sometimes with people, especially, I guarantee you, if Kyler had a choice right now without anybody getting in the way of it, he wouldn't be playing nickel cornerback. He'd be a boundary corner. I guarantee you he would. I don't think he liked it in the beginning, but that's where Flus thrust him, and he got his money playing nickel corner. So it's not like getting out of it. So what I'm telling you is, it feels like he's losing a little bit of the zest for it. He doesn't seem like the same guy that we drafted, and that could be just some maturity stuff that's going on with him physically and mentally. Could be some of that going on. I don't want to get too dark about it, but I will acknowledge that I read that on it.
That might have been the last thing I wanted to hear from anybody.
Just telling you the truth, what I read.
No, then that's cool. I respect that 100%, and not to take anything away from what you were saying. The reason why I'm saying like I didn't want to hear that is, why does this type of shit go on the minute a brother gets paid? Like you get a buck in your bank account, and it's like, oh shit, this is a job now. Like, no, you just got paid to do the job. Go, like, you should love the job even more now that you got the money for doing the job that you've been hustling and trying to get. You've been hustling for all this time. You got the bag. The bag is in your possession, and now it's a job.
Well, now I'm good. Now I'm
wait a minute. Hold on. I can't let him slide. I can't let him slide. Kids is not ding me as the kind of guy that's gonna go harder once he got paid.
Say what?
I think he's gonna put his fucking feet up more.
That's bullshit. I'm the opposite. I'm 100%. You pay me. You pay me, bro. You pay me. You'll get the best shit out of me. Period. That you've ever seen. You'll get extra shit.
Because now you got actual motivation.
I got motivation. I got money in the bank. I can do things. I can live comfortably, as opposed to like, damn, I'm scraping by. This shit ain't working. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is especially from an athlete. Like, you put it on me if you want, but from an athlete's perspective, they are grinding to get the bag. They're grinding, and you know this, right? Like, you're hustling to get to that level where you're comfortable and your family's good, and generational things can occur. That's happened for this man. It ain't a job now. It's been a job, dog.
And also too, man, what we don't know might be the most important thing ever is what's going on with him personally. It could be some shit going on and whatever. Anything that's going on off the field is one thing. His performance or non-performance, just being available is another thing. Let's just stick to that.
Well, sticking to that, let's look at the things that we didn't understand at the time that we dismissed as just a little cross training. When they had the rookie camp and Malik Muhammad, it works for Mother's Milk. It should work for
Mother's Milk and Malik Muhammad. All right.
Represent. And they had him reps at nickel. And it's like, well, he's been an outside boundary guy. I guess they're just doing that, get him a little cross training just in case.
Yeah, everybody gonna touch that.
They better. It's like this guy ain't going.
And so now, but just the more and more, it's like, oh shit. Now it's camp time, and you look at who's not available, and being Kyler Mann, it's like, all right, well, somebody has to play the position. All right, he's not available. All right. Well, who's on the field? And so, you look at Cam Lewis, who's going to maybe elevate and get a lot more defensive snaps than he's been used to over there in Buffalo. You look at, MM, you look at the players that we don't even know yet that might be on the roster, but we know that if you are not available, you got to make plans without him.
So that's the thing right now. And I don't think we're there yet. I think we're just seeing the fact that he is still on the injury report and we're reacting to it. And I think people are just going there and they ain't seeing nothing else outside of that. They haven't even started camp yet, really. Not for the veterans. They just went in there and took a physical and they just made the determination that this is how we're going to start your camp. I'll put you on the pup list. You're still active. He's going to be out there doing everything else. He just won't cut it loose because they'll be monitoring his ass, making sure he ain't doing too much. When it's time, in about another week or so, he'll be cutting it loose and we'll just forget all this conversation in the first place. And so that's why I'm not getting hyperbolic about it. I'd rather them Cadillac and slow roll this shit, to be honest with you, man, because putting them out there too fast, to me, spells doom. And this is a Super Bowl run. You got to have your guys and your ammunition ready, locked, loaded, and ready to go. And so being careful, to me, is the smart thing to do. I don't care what everybody else is saying about it.
Oh, yeah, I get it. It's definitely the smart thing to do. It's just part of the frustration of, all right, we don't know what the hell the defensive line's all about. We got a new and young safety room. So we need to lean on our, contractually obligated veterans on the defense to step up. And when one of those guys is still not able to get on the field, it's like, damn it, I don't think you're a gladiator at all.
You know what the beautiful thing about it, Trip, is we got a couple of guys that can really substitute well. We got a guy we just drafted. We got a guy we just grabbed in a free agent signing, and maybe some other opportunities out there. Like we'll talk about that guy in a second here. I brought him up a couple weeks ago. We should talk about it again if this persists. Which is the reason why I brought up this guy in the first place. You know what? Let's just talk about it now since we in the conversation about nickel corner.
What up, King? What up, Red Baron?
Kenny Moore still out there. Still one of the top 5 to 7 slot corners we got in the league. Does come from a zone-based concept, but I watched enough of his game and I know he can match up. With any receiver in the league, Kenny Moore can get it done. And so that's a break glass, get the extinguisher at the time situation if Kyler Gordon's injuries persist. Because I think Cam Lewis is a great, let's just say, supplementary player. 18, 19 game season going into the Super Bowl, Cam Lewis, no, I don't think he can carry it. You need a proven guy. And so if something happens with Kyler, this is where you can get you can stop that leak.
Well, now I get that this is a veteran guy, but my question is, if this is an opportunity, are there practice squad, first, second year guys, or other, developmental pieces, or contribute now pieces in the eyes of Dennis Allen, that he would be like, hey, Ryan Poles, these 2-3 guys, I think is a good, let's say, bring them in, as opposed to a Kenny Moore where it's like he's gonna come in and just solidify the role for, hopefully just only a year? Or do you go young?
This is that's the dilemma, Trip, is you see the youngsters on the team, you see the guys with all this potential, and you see where it's going with them. And part of you says, you know what, let me just put them on the field and let them, earn this medal, man, and let them just grow. That's another thing when you're expected to push for a Super Bowl run and you got this young rookie out there going through changes for the most part. And that's when you have to make a decision like, okay, I could see if we didn't have any expectations this year. You put all the young guys on the field, let them all run out there and get them reps in. That's one thing. That's in two different places. I don't think we're in that place. I think you have to solidify this role because this role is way too important to be having some young guy out there going through, taking his licks, man. That them licks gonna happen at the most opportune time for the offense that's gonna be giving it to. And so that's the difference for me, why you bring in a veteran here.
So a couple of things to say here. Obviously, it's to our benefit if a rookie picks up the baton and can run with it. Kenny Moore is that guy. He would fit. He would fit what what DA wants to do very well. The issue is the dollars and cents of this idea. Bears have about $9 million cap room available. Kenny Moore's last contract was about $9 million a year. So I don't. The need is clearly there, in my opinion, but I don't know if the want with respect to the dollars and cents is there for them to make a vet move like this. I think they're much more inclined to go into the season with the what if alongside one of these rookies.
Well, question though, kids. Speaking of financial, if you are Kenny Moore, granted you don't know shit about his finances, are you taking a deal now for, let's say, $5 million, or are you gonna not hold out, but wait until another team wants to call in for maybe more, or are you gonna just take an opportunity with a team that's going for a Super Bowl? So you get 3 options there.
The answer to your question is, at this present moment, you wait until you wait 3 weeks ish before you really try to make this type of decision, because somebody might get hurt, like Kyler Gordon on another team, and you can sort of create a bit of a I'm with you, Booker. But you can make some sort of a bidding war for your services if somebody else at the nickel position and another team that's vying for this type of playoff berth or Super Bowl run is available, and the highest bidder wins. And that's how you at 30 years old, you're not old, you're not young, but you're experienced, and he's good, right? Like he is. So I'm sure his services may be required by somebody besides the Chicago Bears. And if that's the reality, you in 3 to 4 weeks, I'd wait it out.
I agree with that. I think it's going to be, his services are going to be way more valuable a little later on. Right now, there's no need at all for him. There's going to be a carted off the field moment that happens, and his numbers don't go up.
And the other side is like, they're going to take this time to evaluate, these these new additions to the team and see whether they can stack up in this new role. And I'm saying this because the one thing that's not being said, yeah, we know Kyler got paid, and we also know Kyler's really good at what he does. But what if one of these young cats is better? You know what I'm saying? Like, there is always the potential that you lose you lose your gig, right? So I just want to put that out there as well. You know, I love this player, not Kenny Moore, Kyler Gordon. Love the player. I want nothing but the best from him, and we've seen some fantastic football from him. I would love for him to get healthy, get on the field, and make his impression felt once again. Right on, sir. Appreciate it. To worry more. But in at the end, being being away from the team and out of practice just opens the door for somebody to take your gig, man. Remember how we were saying that this is now a job? Yeah, it is. Somebody might take your job in your absence.
Well, one last thing about Kenny Moore and this whole Kyler Gordon situation for me. I think, again, I think we just need to just wait and just see how this thing is playing out. And later on, in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks from now, I think this conversation gets way more, has way more punch to it. And then right here in July, when they just now coming into the building, I think, knowing that Kenny Moore is out there and knowing that it's going to be a price, that's all well and good. But the great teams do what they got to do when they know they got there's a window there for us to come through it. And if you have to do what you got to do. There's no young player on the team as good as Kyler Gordon right now. Hell no. There's no young player on the team as good as Kenny Moore, because there's no young player on the team that knows what either one of these guys know and understands what either one of these guys understands. Talent, yeah, plenty of talented guys, maybe even more talented. But the computer from the neck up, it's different, man. That's different. And that's the difference between a rookie young player and somebody that's been there and done it. They're all fucking talented, man. So let's just know that, that this is a break glass moment if this happens, or any other cornerback with his cachet, which I don't see out there, ends up on the team. That lets you know right then and there something's they worried about something with Kyler, but we're not there yet. All right. Any last thoughts about the Kyler thing? Because I knew that was gonna generate a little bit of conversation. Let's just say that. Yeah, I don't like that he's not available and ready to go day one, but I understand. I understand it.
Here's what it is. Again, we as fans, we just kind of have to wait and see what happens. That's all we can do, and again, pray for the best for the player that we appreciate. But it's really an unfortunate situation that we're looking at, especially just like the worst part is like, oh snap. Sorry, I just had a inkling. So probably the biggest part of this is the amount of cap room that's being allocated to him this season. Perhaps there may be reason to go and renegotiate, move that money around so that if the need be, we can afford to get somebody to back him up. Right? Just wanted to sort of put that out there. But there's a significant amount of money sort of being allocated to Kyler this season in that respect. If it's moved into bonus case scenario or something like that, where it doesn't necessarily hit the cap the way that it's slated to do. Again, given his potential absence, don't be surprised if you hear something like that go down if it's going to be a longer term absence from the field.
All right. Let's go here real quick. Now, TJ, again, he's listed on non-football injury report as far as his designation is concerned. And he seems to be active with it. And so, per Adam Schefter, this is going to be a short stint, and he's going to be available and ready to play. TJ's got a lot to play for. TJ's got his starting role on the line, whichever role it is. Whether he won't be the starting Mike. Yeah, he might be the starting Mike.
How? You got to make it to. You got to start
Real
the season.
linebacker. I don't think he will play that role here. I think the will linebacker, is my boy over there.
He's not the will anymore.
I think I'm telling you, man. If TJ Edwards is on this team throughout training camp, TJ ain't just about to go off into the forest, man, and you never hear about him again. He's going to earn a starting role.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Trip.
I'm just. I mean, granted, he's still on a list and not available, but he's been out there running around, and he's not on a pup. He's on a non-football thing, so he can come off that at any time. But it was a very, nasty injury, when we saw it happen. And I'm just surprised he is this far to where he is now, to being able to be on the field and running around like he has been, during the previous offseason stuff. But, Sewell, didn't expect him back. Turner, coming off injury, don't know. But TJ coming back this early, it's like, he's a football gladiator. He is. And he's not going to give up his job, just willy-nilly or easily. He has his limitations, but he's smart enough to get in where he fits in. And the more he's on the field, the more that Dennis Allen and the defensive staff can see where he fits in, if at all. So keep get him back on the field as much as possible. And if he doesn't, fit in, then decisions will have to be made. But as far as the linebacker room goes, the depth is being tested early.
So, we talked about Kyler. We talked about sympathy, and obviously in this case, this happened right in front of our very eyes, live and direct on the field. All the reason in the world for me to big up this particular player and give him the love that he deserves. Do I think he'll be our starting Will or Mike? I don't think so at all, to be honest with you. I think we saw a stark shift in what the Bears were able to do when DeMarco Jackson got on the field last year. We'll take that first half of the first game out of the picture and leave the rest of his tenure on the field right there for y'all to see. I think DeMarco Jackson did a fantastic job. And that's at the Mike role. So I expect him to be the Mike.
I think the whole position is game right now.
Is what?
It's game. It's wide ass open.
You're not wrong, but I think in pole position is DeMarco Jackson for the role.
I'd say so. I'd say so too. But I don't know. TJ Edwards has more metal than we realize, man.
No, and I don't think he does. I think we do. I think we all realize what he brings to the table.
He's a warrior.
He's definitely a warrior, man. He's proved his worth. A fair. Let's just say 10 times over, given his original salary and what he was able to do over the course of the first few years. He's earned his money, earned his position on this team. Now, let's get real now. He is on the back nine of that said career, as my friend underneath me would likely say. He's also, due to the fact that he's on the back nine, he's definitely lost a step or two. And we are talking about a guy coming off of a very gruesome leg injury.
No, Kids, I gotta disagree with that. I don't think TJ.
You think he's as fast as DeMarco Jackson?
Shout out to Smitty Q with the 550 joules on that.
There's our boy Smitty, man. Hope you driving safe.
Hold on, let me make sure we do them.
Be at the crib. Be at the crib.
We gotta do him right, man, because he showed us some love here. Do him right. Thank you so much, Smitty, man. We appreciate that love. We need more of it. And anybody that can help, man, please go ahead and buy some gifts and some jewels and all that kind of stuff, man. Help the channel out. Help us keep this thing rolling, man. Y'all don't know how close we was to the damn cemetery. I was running out of money. So I had to go do some things, man. We got going good for about almost 3 years, man, off of my savings account. So thank you, Smitty. That savings account ran thin, man, and we appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, I'm long story short, if you watch TJ play last year, and not to take too much away from him, you could see that he was not really able to do much damage against drag routes, crossers, and wheel routes, which
that's where I was going, kid. Let me just help there, because I don't think TJ's lost a step whatsoever. TJ never had the step we were looking for as far as coverage.
Okay.
He's just not
fast.
What you would call a traditional man cover linebacker. Maybe a big tight end. I think he handles a big tight end very well. Maybe a medium speed to somewhat fast tight end. I think he can handle a tight end. But when he's got to get out on a fast, fleet-footed running back, or damn curtains happens to him and he gets stuck on a slot receiver, it's over. Either one of those two players, and that happens during the game sometimes, man. Things get mixed up, and you ended up, and the whole coverage got blown, and you ended up on a slot receiver or a running back that you shouldn't be on. That happens, and you just hope they hold up. But that stuff you're talking about, TJ just never had. He never was a fast for that linebacker.
I suppose that's a fair way of viewing what I was saying, meaning that I another reason again why I don't think he'll be the starting linebacker for the squad this year is because speed kills. Speed unalives. And that's where they have moved towards across the board with this defense, especially the back seven. So I think that is going to be a key factor in which player actually starts at both the mic and the wheel positions. I think Sam might be a little bit different, but even then, speed may rule.
Well,
I think we got another person showing us some love. Look at Jay Grizz said a little something. Jay Grizz with the 199 super chat. He said a little something to get rid of the dogs at the hogs.
Invest in some cayenne.
Said the grill.
I use it too, man. I'm gonna get some cayenne. You're right, man. I didn't lean into the cayenne like I know I probably could have, man. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I am gonna get some more cayenne. I'm gonna try to come up with another way to apply that thing. Maybe get it in some kind of little net bag or something and put it in there. And I don't know, but you're right. That cayenne is gonna disrupt some shit. Yeah.
Well, see, here's another thing about TJ in his favor. The rookie Keyshaun Elliott, he's yet to been able to get on the field. And then what we saw from Hippolyte, was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Noah Sewell, who's still out. And then, the depth, that's three guys right there. So that bodes well for TJ. But at this point in his career, it's like Sanborn, Edwards. It's like Sanborn is just a younger version of Edwards.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna read this and we'll come back to a Scottish Bear. He says, Scottish Bear 582 says, you guys know my background regarding being an ex-pro boxer and former professional coach and PhD in sports science and nutrition. Gordon is doing it wrong. He needs to take more bone broth and minerals. Now you kind of sound like my college trainer. Now you sound like my college trainer. This actually that triggered a memory, but hold on, man. Let me bring this up real quick, and we can come back to TJ if y'all want to. But this is one of the top 3 to 5 things that happened this all season for us. Bringing back this guy, Mr. Solid, Mr. can do almost anything, almost, but Mr. Consistent, Jack Sanborn. It's one of the guys I didn't think should have been let go of in the first place, but I'm so glad somebody realized that and saw the need. You know, TJ's coming off an injury. TJ's, you know, we really don't know what's going to happen once you put him on the field and he goes through full 100% drills with the pads on. We'll see what TJ can bring to the table. This is the insurance right here. This is one of the top 3 to 5 things we did in this offseason. I'm talking about draft included, everything. This is insurance right here. Jack Sanborn.
It's an interesting take. We just looking at the linebacker position in and of itself. We've got Noah Sewell that's out. We've got TJ Edwards that's clearly also out. We've also got a young rookie who's out too. It's getting a little thin, and we really needed some leverage, like somebody who's going to be available. Jack Sanborn hasn't taken a lot of time off the field outside of him just not being played. So if we need the help, this is a pretty well-known commodity. We know what he's about. He can do the job if his number is called on. So I'm glad to have Jack back. That's for sure.
What say you, Trips, about this move? I love this move, man. Just to me, you don't let go of gritty guys like this unless you have to.
Yeah, he's reliable in special teams. He can play, I believe all 3 linebacker positions. So he's smart, he's physical. He will crash down on the run. He's always in the right hole. Careful there, Red Baron.
Oh.
And he will definitely, hit you. So his limits are, his coverage as well, when he's just not the fastest, linebacker out there. And that's why I gave the correlation of just a younger, TJ, because both being from Wisconsin, brainy schools, relying more on their mental capacity and their instincts as opposed to their physical ability, but they're both physical.
Hey, Trips, would you agree when I said this is one of the top 3 to 5 things we did this all season, given the circumstances?
Top 3 to given the circumstances, to show up a little veteran help in the linebacker room, considering what we're looking at now with, who's our linebackers. You got the new free agent and Devin Bush. Then you got TJ coming off an injury. And then you re-signed DeMarco Jackson. So there's very little depth and very little veteran depth. So yeah, re-signing Jack Hammer was a smart move.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm watching you, Scottish Bear. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. And I do agree with that, man. Working smarter. Like I could tell you guys some stuff. Let me take this down for a second. Like when you get guys that, like, we just had Nick Scorton for the Carolina Panthers, just went down to a season injury, just ACL injury. I'm just telling you, my instincts tell me some things, man. I can remember still training for football, even when I wasn't playing for football, because I wanted to go do some workouts and get some opportunities. I had to learn to listen to my body. And that's rare for a young guy, a really, really young guy that's not really in tune with his body and just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And he's got this goal-driven mindset that, hey, I gotta be the best me I can be, and I'm just gonna keep ripping. What you're not hearing is the body parts telling you, like, hey, lighten up now. Take it easy. You can take a few days off, just you don't gotta go crazy eating and drinking and like that, but you can, get your feet up for a little bit, man. Give me a chance to regenerate. Talking about these bones, these tendons, these muscles that need time to rest so that they can regenerate. That's the thing. I was just one of those people that was able to listen to my body. And I don't think every young football player has that. And so that's the thing. And then taking pointers from people that, study the body and study how the body functions and what you can do to help regenerate, things that you feel like you're lacking in a certain area, or you ain't got enough wind, you got enough stamina, you ain't got enough this, you ain't got enough that. Okay, try this. But that also, if you're not smart, can take you down the road of supplements and can get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a double-edged sword. You take the more holistic approach and don't mess with that stuff in the beginning, but you just listen to your body, and it's basic things that your body needs. Your body needs rest. Your body needs fluids. Your body needs time more than anything else, but the foods that you eat really will lean towards more stability with your muscle and bone and tendon and all that kind of stuff. It's the food. It's the food and rest. So take some time off, fellas.
Well, here's a question. Now, for those that, let's say you do a morning smoothie with fruits and vegetables. Like Jay Grizz is saying, more beet juice. Pickle juice is good.
That's for hydration.
What is that? Fiber supplements are good. Fiber powder, as well as vegetable powders. Can you put all of that stuff into one smoothie, or do you have to do it all separate?
Depending on what your taste buds can deal with. You don't want to put beets and pickles and in there with.
Well, I mean, it's a smoothie. It's just a gulping time. It's not for taste.
Turmeric, all this stuff, man. It's all
turmeric, cinnamon is good for everything. Holistic stuff. Honey, lemon juice.
You ever had a green smoothie?
Yeah. I mean, it tastes like what it looks like. Blech.
Yeah.
Unless you put like some strawberries and a banana in there, then it tastes like strawberries and banana.
You know what that?
But I mean, it's not. But my question is, supplement wise, is it bad to just dump it all into one thing and consume it at the same time?
No, not if
or just as long as you get it.
You get it if you can stomach that shit. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't just dump all that into something I'm going to drink and then have to go do a workout. And like, hold on, probably a quarter way through that workout, you got to go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those green smoothies will put you through the ringer, and if you don't know your body, man, it could linger a little bit later on, give you some cramps because you got too much of something in there, and all kinds of things that can happen, man. But
so some stuff is better pre-workout, whereas others is better post-workout.
Some stuff is better at night after you're done doing all that stuff, and you give your body some time to digest it. And like doing it right before a workout, that's wild as shit.
You might. I think that something that, I mean, it's not a health segment, but it's not a doomsday thing either. But for Wednesday night on Some Extra Sauce, looking at, when you get a certain age, if you do take supplements or you do take, all the things that we just mentioned, when's the best time for it? What's some good stuff to, to keep your heart healthier, to keep your lungs good, or, whatever, just like a health type lifestyle, if you will, segment.
It's like this. Like in the morning times, you got to know your body. You just really got to know your body. In the morning times, what your body goes through. If you're one of those dudes that are going to get up and get a coffee, cappuccino, espresso, whatever it is in the morning, and go to the facility and go do your workout. They're gonna have a little breakfast there for you. It's what you pick up after that. If you know that coffee is gonna give you a bowel movement, yeah, maybe take it easy on some of the looser
Well,
stuff.
bowel movement. See, I think that's fiber, right?
But coffee, just hot, warm water will give you a bowel movement in the
Well,
morning.
coffee will fly right through some people, man, especially in the
Yeah.
morning.
You're
Well,
gonna
but
have
like
to
Shad on Sports is saying, well, I'm sorry, that's not Shad. That's Bear Truth 9. Creatine. You know,
yeah.
I've heard stuff about not I was about to say PCP kids, but it's
Oh.
not PCP. It's something different. But it's not creatine. It's not testosterone. But there's all kind of stuff now. You know, because when you get a certain age, it's like, well, your body needs this, your body needs that, and it's just very confusing because everything does certain things for certain
It-
things.
What you're thinking
It's
of
like,
is
well, can I just
probably
get like a
Just
Flintstones
don't
that
eat.
just does it all?
Just don't eat McDonald's in the morning, man.
Well, I don't.
well.
It's
That's
just
good.
call that
That's
shit
good.
That's just McLaxative.
That's sound advice for all people. I think what you're thinking of is amino acid. Is that what you're thinking of, Trip?
No one. It's
No.
not creatine.
What are you talking about?
It's a new peptides.
Oh, peptides.
Peptides.
Yeah, go look at that. What was that one? Oh, damn.
Scrolls, man, you need to shut your ass up, man. You know what?
Scroll saying now, Colin wants to
Don't
be.
even worry about it.
Oh,
Oh no, stop.
oh.
Just
Don't even worry about it, man.
Even
Scrolls, you need to shut up, man.
That's
but
too
yeah,
funny.
just like a health and just kind of a wellness is like, hey, you know, like Scottish is saying, if it's blended down, you can take anything because it's pre-digested. Your digestive enzymes don't need to break it down because it's already broken down. So your body will digest it easier. So yeah, so that's a definite no for the fiber before the workout.
How many guys you think when you're going? Everybody is, you got 90 some guys going out there for practice. How many guys you think is gonna have to turn around and say, "Hey, coach, I gotta run to the locker room. Got to go to the bathroom." How many of them guys you think is gonna happen? It's gonna happen every day. Now, when you do that, and you got to go in there and sit down and go through the changes your body gonna put you through. Like I learned something just doing the little job I just did, man. Instead of the coffee in the morning, I went to the caffeine gum to give me a jolt. And that ain't gonna run me to the toilet. You know what I mean? So there's just all kind of products out there, man. You just as a football player, what's funny about it is there's so many restricted products that will help you. But if you don't run it through the ringer and make sure it's cleared, you're in trouble. And next thing you know, you're getting in trouble for some kind of PED suspension and people thinking you're taking steroids and all kind of shit. And it's just, you miss something. That's all. So you got, there's just all kinds of reasons you got to be careful with all this shit.
What's the GHB? Is that a thing?
Well, that's not a thing. We should be talking about on a football show like that. That'll.
Well,
like
what's the stuff that Sylvester Stallone is on?
today?
Growth enhancing shit, man. People that like their big head and big neck and just looking.
Well, but there's like 3 letters for it, I thought.
Anyway, man, it's ridiculous. You don't want it. Trust me, Trish.
Yeah.
Your head too big as it is.
That's
But you don't need
it. Because that's what she said.
All right, let's get to some other
HGH. Thank you, Ken.
Oh, HGH.
I knew that's what he was going to, but you put it out there. All right, let's talk about this guy right here. It's actually good to know that he is on the active pup. When just remember, I will, if y'all want me to, I will put the ticker back up so you can see what the technical designations are. But he's on active pup. Every last one of these guys are on active pup. Even TJ, who's on NFI, he's on active NFI. The bad news is when you see these guys being on non-active NFI, non-active pup. that's a guy that you can't count on this year for the most part, or at least for an extended period of time. These guys are getting ready. And I think Ozzie Trapillo, with the performance that he put out last year, and I will say this again, I said it a couple times already. I think in a about a good 4 to 6 game span, I think he was outstanding given the opportunity given to him. However, towards the tail end, last couple of games, I can see it really start to set in. I'm a pro and I got to deal with all kinds of different edge rushers. And they start to give him the blues. And I would never say that an injury was a good thing for a guy. But if there was ever a time that you needed some time to yourself and rethink some of the things that you were doing, I guess he got injured at the best time possible. Because he was definitely breaking down, bro. I wish I can show you all 22 without any dings from YouTube, because I can show you exactly what I'm talking about, but you can see the flaw. You can see them flaws, and them rookie flaws is what they were. And once those started to be exposed, teams was going after him. They were really going after Ozzie Trapillo, and he started to struggle a little bit. So he tapered off, which ain't the worst thing in the world. And, him getting injured at that time gives him time to get his body back right. I'm bullish about this guy. Wherever he lands when he gets back, whether it's at left tackle or right tackle, I think we got a stud at a tackle, one of them for a while here.
That's good. That's a good read. I'm glad that you sort of took the time to give Ozzie another look. I don't know if it's a positive or negative thing not having him on the field here. I'm still going to lean towards negative. I think through training camp, through being on the field, he would learn how to mitigate much of what his issues were, and that sort of goes alongside his offensive line coach having similar understanding as to what his shortcomings were, and them working to correct that. In my opinion, injury pushes all of that back. Now, we did talk about sympathy and things along these lines. So once more, I feel terrible about this kid, man. This kid he really stepped into the role that we had hoped he would, and I think he played admirably. Was he perfect? No. Did he have things to learn? Absolutely. He's a rookie. That's to be expected. But unfortunately, this injury is going to take him a minute to come back from. I'm just glad to hear, again, he's on the active list. So it sounds to me like he's going to start to move towards eliminating some of those shortcomings Nomad was talking about.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think he's a good kid. Looked like he was coming along as a player, but he was starting to get, what was it, the rookie wall, hitting that a little bit or getting exposed a little bit.
Good call
when he went down.
Good call.
But when he did go down, it left a hole at left tackle, of which there still isn't a solid answer. We bring back Braxton Jones. We already know who he is and his flaws, and we hope that his anchor, we all can say it, preaching to the choir wise, has gotten stronger and he's able, to do that better. And then Jedrick Willis, Theo is still in the mix for there. And so whoever wins the competition at left tackle is going to be, that player on the line. And Ozzie's injury, he'll be coming back, like mid-season ish. And that's just coming back and getting back into football shape. And then, if he's going to be back on the field, he's got to gel with the line. And, this is the time where, the team is going to be pushing for playoffs. And it's just not the ideal time to be bringing him back from an injury of that nature into the point of the season where the team is needing to be starting to fire on all cylinders. So it's not ideal, obviously. And I would hope that by that time in the season, whoever wins the left tackle job can solidify it enough to where it's like, you know what? We're good. we can, let Ozzy take his time and we can play out the season with whoever's on the field. That's the ultimate hope there, as opposed to having to come back from the injury at that point in the season
The fact
and
that
contribute.
I love the fact that they layered the depth here and layered the competition and set up a great competition for that left tackle role. Why? Because this guy definitely needs time. He's already gone through the procedure, and the outside scar and the inside scar have probably healed, or he wouldn't be an active pup. So both parts of the wound have healed. Now it's about the most important thing ever, is rebuilding the strength in
Rehab.
the leg. Yeah, just putting the strength back in that leg, and that takes some goddamn on time.
Mm-hmm.
When you're everyday, I work out all the time, and this leg has a certain amount of strength in it, and you're down for several months because you got to have your foot elevated and you got to let the thing heal. You get on it too fast, you can rupture something again on the inside, and you got to start all over. So you got to take that part really serious. And once those wounds healed, now he's starting the process of trying to get the strength back in one leg. The only obstacle I ever seen besides that is, depending on what you've been doing, you put too much weight on the other side for too long, and you start to weaken that one side because you're favoring the other, right? For so long. And that's why, some of these injuries can be tricky. And if these guys don't really pay attention to what the doctor's telling them and what the trainer inside the building is telling them, hey, this is how you go about rehabbing when you ain't at home. Don't be putting all your weight over here all the time. Use a cane, use a crutch or something, so that you're not leaning and putting all that mass over here on this one body part that's not built to sustain your weight. So you just got to be careful that way. So again, I got a lot of confidence in this guy coming back right and bringing a whole lot to the table. Just it's probably not going to be, if it's anytime this year, it's going to be way late.
Yeah, I would think towards November is when we'll really see Ozzy Trapillo playing football again
or even being available until
100%. That's my thoughts there. It just, this whole conversation just leads me to just my general want that Karan Amagaji just kicks in the saloon doors and slaps the poker dealer and takes over the table and is like, game on, let's go. I really wish that was the situation. So far,
who, Mr. Afterthought?
You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember before he got injured, that guy was getting a lot of praise?
What are you talking about?
I don't know if you watch the press conferences.
Oh, well, okay. All right, that's a good answer. Because it wasn't because he was on the field doing stuff, right?
Before he got injured, he was receiving a lot of praise. Somebody asked somebody whether it was, it had to be
it was Teron Armstead that they asked.
No.
If that's what you're talking about.
This is during the training camp last year.
Oh.
Before he got injured. And they was talking about, I think they asked Ben Johnson, like, who are you most impressed by? And like on the offensive line, and one of the first things out of his mouth was Karan. He was performing, and he just got hurt. Can't control that shit. So I don't think he'd be here. I don't think he'd be here at all if he didn't impress somebody. I think he'd be cut a long time ago.
Well, I don't.
What was he? Was he a third round pick? They gonna give him every benefit of the doubt.
They kind of have to.
They would have let him go.
No, you don't flush a third rounder just because. But like, the fact is, do either of you recall him taking a single snap last year
in the regular season?
Yeah. Like, I'm just asking the obvious question here. Like, I don't remember him taking a single snap. Even if what you're saying is the truest of the truth things, we didn't see him play ever. So that speaks so many more, like, so loud, so much louder than a comment before the season. One would think that if he was doing something, that's something special in practice, that they'd find a way to get him on the field. They never did.
Well,
There was times where both of the tackles were down, and he was the last guy that they would ever consider. I mean, who did they put up?
Brown was on the injury list pretty much.
Not all season, bro. Not all season. Like,
there's a reason why they didn't put him out there.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's like I think his stock is unfortunately as low. It's got to be pretty low, right? Like I'm blanking out on the name now. Well, who's the left tackle that they lined up beside Tooney in the playoffs? After Trapillo got hurt.
That was a guard. You thinking about a guard?
Was he a guard?
Guard reps. You talking about damn, I forget his name.
Oh, you're right. He moved into guard and they let Tooney go on the other side. They let Tooney play the left.
Oh, you talking about McFadden? He went to left guard.
My point being,
he's because he's taking reps. Obviously, Karan hadn't been taking those reps.
That's if Karan's not taking reps in like January.
That's the problem.
At guard.
Yeah, at guard.
I think they were swinging him at tackle, kids. Is why he wasn't getting those reps. That's like you got a log jam. You're only gonna give certain. There's only so many reps in a practice, kid. You got three guys taking those reps. You don't have room for a fourth guy.
You're missing what I'm saying. Yeah, you put McFadden in the guard position, but the requirement there was to move Tooney out to left. When you have a perfectly healthy left tackle waiting in the wings who should be practicing at that position to take on that position.
Obviously, they didn't think he was better than Tooney.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, not only like
that's the problem.
Tooney played the role in the Super Bowl, bro.
Hold on now, but Tooney is a Pro Bowl guard. You could keep Tooney in that position if you had any confidence in the kid playing at left tackle.
There's a difference between Joe Tooney, grizzled veteran, and a Karan Amagaji who's only had limited experience, man. I think the equation is wrong. Number one, for the reasons that there's only so many reps you're going to be able to get in practice, number one. Number two, if most of your reps are being given at left tackle, right tackle, and swinging back and forth and making sure that you're competent on each side doing that, sometimes coaches want to keep you there. You know what I mean? And we feel like we can do better at guard, putting this guy in here and swinging a guy that, played in the Super Bowl at left tackle. We feel better with that combination versus I don't think this guy's good enough.
I think you're missing me here. Like, I'm not really trying to compare Karan Amagaji to Joe Tooney. Like, that's a terrible comparison in any capacity. I'm just saying that the kid's been on the team for moving into 3 years now. One would think that he's had some level of training over the course of the last 3 years to be able to sort of show some level of development.
Well, kids, why do you think he's
and like, huh?
Why do you think he's still here? You think he's dating?
Because he was picked as very simply put, because he's a 3rd round pick, right? Like, when you make a selection at that level, at this present time, you're just hoping he does something that validates that selection. That's the only reason he's here. He hasn't been on the field. He's been injured more frequently, like at the very least as much as Kyler Gordon, if not more so. And when given the opportunity to be on the field, they've made every other decision outside. Like how Theo Benedict got on the field last year has a lot to do.
Let me help you out. Name the tackles on the team. Ozzie,
Theo, Braxton, and Karan,
Jedrick
Wills now.
I'm thinking more last year, so I apologize for that. I'm thinking more last year. You had Theo, you had Braxton, who was injured. You had Ozzie, you had Darnell, and maybe one other guy that we might fail to mention. That's already plenty of reps you got to give some guys. A couple of those guys don't even take left tackle reps. A couple of those guys don't take right tackle reps. And so now you're trying to develop the guy that can swing. And once you feel like you got a good flow going with that, he's taking reps over here, taking reps over there. The last thing you want to do is stick him in at guard when you don't need to. I mean, there's already enough guard.
I think why would we be putting him in a guard?
Okay, I'm trying to say
I'm saying that I'm like that part of the conversation we can skip over, because like ain't nobody beating Joe Tooney out at the guard position, period. The only reason that that McFadden took that position was because they wanted to play Tooney at tackle,
and they thought the rest of him playing with the rest of those guys was a stronger front.
And I'm not here to take
that simple.
Listen, I'm not here to take umbrage with that as a decision that worked out well. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you have a third round talent that you've had for 3 years going here, he should be developed at this point in some capacity to at least make that decision. Like Tripp used the perfect word earlier on, and it was afterthought. That's what he is. He is an afterthought. They would rather switch things around on the line than
I bet all my money in his heart of hearts. He probably feels the same way as you. Like, I should have got that opportunity. I've been practicing. I've been ready. I've been getting myself together. But in his heart of hearts, he also knows that deep down, like, I understand why they did it like that. I understand why they did it like that. That's just a stronger 5.
I'm just putting it out. I'm just putting it squarely where it lives. And somebody in the chat, I don't remember who, but somebody in the chat said Theo just beat the brakes off of him in training camp last year, and then he got hurt, and that was that.
All right.
Theo got the opportunity to play a bunch last year in that particular position, and this is after he'd come back. It really doesn't bode well for this particular player, and we're getting towards the end of his tenure here, right? We're kissing year 4. He got to do something real soon.
And then look at also the way that Ben Johnson has utilized his offensive linemen. Theo will come in, a couple reps as a fullback, a couple reps, outside of Ozzie supporting him. Karan never got none of those reps. He was never active for none of that because he's never been available. And he's not Kyler Gordon, because Kyler Gordon was at least on the field long enough to get a new contract signed. Karan hasn't had the opportunity to get on the field and stay on the field to be worthy of a contract extension.
This is not we're not shitting on the player, man. I'm trying to say that I want him to kick the friggin' saloon door open, slap the poker dealer, and take the table over and say, "Yo, I'm here. I've been here. I'm the guy. Let's run game." And that's what I'm trying to say. And I'll be damned if this happens.
I understand it. Well, here's one thing I put all my money on this. Every dime I own, everything I'm worth. I think we got the kind of coach, the head coach, that when it comes to motivation and bringing the best out of guys, that like this guy that Kids has question marks about, Trips has question marks about, I have question marks about.
The team clearly has question marks about.
Let me finish this.
Mm-hmm.
I got all my money pushed into the middle of the table, saying that he's made it clear to anybody sitting there on the fringes of the roster, individually and in a group setting. Let them know, like, dude, we expect you to be a competitor for this role here. We see it in you, or you wouldn't still be here. I'm telling you right now, I think we're going to have a new attitude about several guys on this roster that we probably didn't have that attitude about beforehand. And I think he could be one of them.
Well, I really hope what you're saying grows legs, man, because straight up, Like Chris Foster and Shad are kind of with me on this. I'm not. The purpose of drafting Quran in the first place was to have him more or less unseat Braxton Jones from the left tackle position. And here we are rolling into the 2026 season. And again, sorry?
Different leadership. Got to remember that.
It's same GM. The guy who drafted him for a reason.
Those coaches,
he didn't change
wasn't a part of that, and that's the facts too.
I'm just saying, if there's a GM, he's the same guy for both regimes. He drafted a player in the third round that he thought was caliber enough to unseat Braxton Jones from that role. And not only did he not unseat him, he never took the field, and a guy underneath, UDFA unseated him instead. Stepped over top of the third rounder and the starter.
So in other words, it's been a wah.
Kind of.
I've seen that shit happen so many times over the years, and I'm going back and forth with kids trying to make a point with them about when, you can have the same GM and two different coaching staffs, but have two different mindsets as far as the coaches goes. Not just two, but several different whole sets of eyes on this guy, and they have a whole different way of thinking about who this guy is and who they might want. That's the truth about it, kid.
I'm not going to refute what you're saying
that way or not. That's the truth.
I'm not going to refute what you're suggesting here, but again, it's kind of moot because the kid's been injured, right? Like in both scenarios, with the old staff and with the new staff, kid was hurt. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like the modus operandi was to unseat Braxton. He's just flat out never done it. Not only has he never done it, he can't even get on the field long enough for them to say, hey, look, maybe he could maybe do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is where we are. It's got less to do with whether the offensive line coach under Flus's regime saw the validity in him versus our new O-line coach. Neither one has seen the kid on the field at all because he's been hurt. So once more, here we are. What's that?
Can't do shit about that.
No, you can't. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I'd really like to see the kid just come out there and gangbusters this thing and take the brass ring, the baton, whatever you want to call it, and own that position. Good Lord. I'm like, given the conversation, we know what Braxton Jones is. He's also coming off an injury too. I mean, his is probably worse than yours. Surgery
something that just to give a little shout out to Braxton, that I saw he was working with Teron Armstead, in the offseason, whereas before he wasn't. He was rehabbing, so he should be a level ahead of where he was prior. We got that.
I'm trying to
give him mad praise too, man.
Different perspective. Just think about this way. You got your ones on defense, right? Our first starting 11 on defense for the most part, right? You got those guys. Let's just stick to the defensive front. You got 4 guys there, potentially. That's a base formation. You got 4 guys there. You got probably 3 sets of those 4 guys, right? You got the first squad, you got the second wave, and you got the third wave, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
How many of those reps at left tackle or right tackle, 1 reps do you think Kiran Hamagazi gets in a practice?
I'm not so.
You see where I'm going?
No, I hear where you're going, but it's also not a fair place to go because
how come that's not fair?
I'm going to tell you how.
You explain that to me.
So this is competition, right? Like, you're in competition for the role. So if there's 3-4 guys in front of you, such is the case scenario. You need to show and prove on the field in practice that you're the guy. That's the thing. There's not going to be just reps set aside for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just not going to inherit reps. He's got to claw them reps to himself. Like, you know what I'm saying? He has to fight to get them reps. And right now, what we're looking at is a situation where odds are, given what you just said, he's probably getting 0 reps, bro. Like 0 reps.
How
right?
many?
He's got Theo in front of him.
How many rows you think say Jordan McFadden got at left guard during the week?
Bro, like what you're saying is actually hilarious because probably not very many either. He's behind Joe Thuney.
Yeah, but Thuney ain't taking all the reps out there in practice.
So maybe he's getting all
he
the
gets a lot of
reps.
those old man days.
Maybe Thuney's just chilling and Jordan's getting all the practice reps.
Yeah, because Thuney was out a lot. Getting Grady Jarrett was out a lot. Old man days. So that'll give McFadden a lot more of the upside. But to the point of it's like Karan wouldn't be getting number 1 or number 2 reps at either position, but Theo beat his ass out. So not disparaging Theo, and granted, it doesn't matter where you're drafted, but 3rd round UDFA. You kind of want that 3rd rounder because of the draft capital to be like, hey, I can beat out the UDFA, but that didn't happen. Now, could it have happened? We don't know because he ain't been healthy enough to stay on the field to figure it out.
And let's also recognize that he got let's just recognize that he was getting reps before Theo last season before he got hurt, for sure.
I'm just saying
we can all say that as well.
I wanted to say this is what that question wasn't an exercise in who's right and who's wrong. It's an exercise to get people to think about it in a way that it should be thought about. You get those coaches are allotted a certain amount of time during the day to have these guys on the field to take those reps. And you're going through, these different waves in practice. So you got this shit going on right now. In the next 30 or 45 minutes, you have that shit going on. Next thing you know, we're doing 7-on-7s. Next thing you know, it's 11-on-11s. How much time do we have to get those reps in? You don't realize how little time it is. And so long as we're thinking about it in a different way that we came into this conversation, I'm happy. I don't care who's right, who's wrong here. Don't matter to me.
That's totally fair. And I'm just saying that it's not for lack of trying. Like, he has gotten some reps for sure over and above Theo last season. He definitely did. But we're at a point where, just to respect what you're saying, he might be buried in the depth chart. He may not be getting any reps at all, and it's really up to Karan now to kick that door in and show who the F he is if he really wants a position on this team. Because, like I say, we're getting close to year 4. Decisions will be made, and at this present time, I don't know about everybody else in the chat and on this show, but I don't see a future for Karan Amagaji in Chicago, let alone in the NFL moving forward.
We shall see. How about that? And let's go to this conversation. It's only because every last one of these injuries had a technical definition to them, pretty much uniform all the way across, right? And I'll put it back up if you guys, I'll just put it up anyway. When you get to Keyshaun Elliott, his says non-disclosed. Everybody else has a specific designation to it. His says non-disclosed. And that's the only reason my antennas went up.
Non-disclosed.
This is nothing. Hopefully this is nothing. Everybody else has specific definition to their destination. His is the only one that says undisclosed. That's the only thing that gives my antennas up. And I just hope and pray, because I got a lot of hopes for this kid right here, that it's nothing, they just taking them through tests and they're going through whatever they have to go through to try to avoid something. I don't know, but whatever it is, it could be just an undisclosed illness. He's got something going on. It could be just that simple, and I might be going crazy with it, but it did alert me. I'll just say that.
Well, but not to be hyperbolic, or jump to conclusions, but undisclosed. All right. Well, if somebody has a knee, hip, ankle, they're saying that, or a concussion, they're saying that. Well, all right, what the problem is. And it's way too early, but he hasn't been, on the field as of yet in the offseason, rookie program or the camps, as far as I remember. It's always been, Elliott, he was there, but unable to physically get on the field. So it's like, all right, what the problem is, and not that they are similar with what's wrong with them, but to see another player not be on the field, and it's like we don't know why, and it's like, didn't we just do this with Frazier? It's like we're not going to do this again, are we? And I know that it's not the same, but damn.
Yeah. I was answering Chris's question, man. He says, is Ozzy got out for the season? I said, no, not technically. I don't think we should expect him, but if he comes back a little earlier than expected, then great. That means he's over exceeding expectations. So yeah, but this, go ahead, fellas. I didn't mean to cut y'all.
I'm hearing, and I'm trying to verify, but I'm hearing that it's a quad injury for Keyshaun Elliott.
Why would they list that as undisclosed? It's that simple. You say quad.
It is simple. It's a 4-letter word, but that's what I'm just looking for verification on this right now. Bear with me.
So at least it's something. Well, not that it's good, but all I know, we're seeing quads, sideline players, but it's doable, I guess.
All I know is they signed that linebacker pretty quick after that last little camp for Michigan State. And this might have something to do with it.
That's a good
can't think of his name right now, but I remember that happened like right after, and that's supposedly that's when it happened. Listen to all the talking heads talking about it. Something happened in that last camp towards the end or something.
That makes a lot of sense as to why they might have done something like that, just in case. Need to get the reps. Worst case scenario, kid's going to be around. They just drafted him, but definitely a questionable situation if it is a quad injury, right? So that being the case, it's going to take him a couple of weeks. We'll see what he looks like when he actually gets back and out there on the field. If that's anytime soon, your guess is as good as mine. If it's a quad injury, it may take longer than that.
Either way,
by the way, isn't it that period of the season where they don't have to really tell you anything about potential injuries, just that there is one?
That's all the season to me. I think they can just say whatever they want to say, and people check boxes behind it.
Well, there's no, like that's during the actual regular season, you're supposed to disclose to some degree. And there was a couple of teams that got in shit for not doing so last year. I believe the Ravens got in trouble for not disclosing Lamar's status, and I swear it was against us. But something to that effect during the regular season. Reason being, it affects good old gambling case scenario. If you want to put money on this team or the third, it'd be awesome to know that the quarterback is or isn't going to start. Stuff like that. Off season, you really aren't being held to that type of standard, and you can kind of say whatever you want to say.
Chris, trust me, ain't no fine that they're gonna give any billionaire that's gonna bother him if he just insists by way of his coach and not disclosing an injury. They're gonna take that fine every damn day. If they want to juke the books, they can do it.
Yeah, it's stranger things have happened.
But I think you are right about we are in a particular part of the season where everything doesn't have to be descriptive. Maybe, you know what I mean? where we are. They don't have to say it if they don't want to.
You know what? Shout out Sports is Shad, man. Shout out to you and Scottish Bear today, man. You guys are killing it in the chat. Chris Foster, you ain't so bad either. Sometimes, you know what I mean. So here we are staring this guy in the face and talking about, you know, the fact that he may not make it on the field, A, in training camp, B, for some time until whatever injury has plagued him is managed. You know what we're not talking about? It's the guy that Shad on Sports just brought back into my, like, almost completely forgot about this guy. But we drafted a hippo that ran a 4.4 at linebacker and another warm-up warrior. Right. So like I'm kind of with you, Shad. Like, so this opens the door. If a door was ever open for Ruben Hippolyte, if there was a door that could be open for Ruben Hippolyte to step into and really show what he's about, I think that door just opened. Oh, look at that. Imagine. You know what I mean? I think that door just opened, and I think that Ruben you know, really needs to you know, much like I said about Karan Amagaji, slap the poker dealer and take that table over. Kick the damn salon doors open. Do it, Ruben. We'd love to see something out of you.
I think this guy is definitely starting from. I would just say, and I don't know his status with the coaches and what they're thinking about him.
You're going the right way.
Hearing anything about him doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot's not going on. You know what I mean? Just say that. And you know, he's going to get his rookie year ended with a bang, and the wrong kind of bang. And, you know, that was that. But I'm not ready to get hyperbolic about him either. I just want to see what happens now from this point forward. See what happens. You know what I mean? He's had there's been no real discussion about Ruben Hippolyte whatsoever.
This is
a player in the mix.
This is all the reason to be hyperbolic about this one, right? Like when they go out and they select another another linebacker who's floating around in free agency and had been for a little bit, and stick him in what should or could potentially be your position and let him run the show, and he's good at it.
You talking about Jack Sanborn?
No, I'm talking about DeMarco Jackson.
That is.
You know, I'm talking about DeMarco Jackson. So like there was both TJ went down and Tremaine went down, and we needed help. And this guy was nowhere to be seen. He was gone.
That's right. The same thing happened to DeMarco Jackson when he was in his rookie year in New Orleans.
Hey, I don't know what's going on in New Orleans. I'm talking about Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about Chicago. We found another linebacker besides the one that we'd selected, and selected higher than anybody would have expected. But we were hoping that he would be something or turn into something, or at the very least, we're hoping to see him on the field a couple of times.
Well, the problem with his speed was his speed didn't help when he went up, you know, against big tight end Mr. Washington over there in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
and since then, you know, from that game, Mr. Hippolyte was a non-factor.
You know what? But every team don't have a 300-pound tight end. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like one's that's enough to take the linebacker out.
It's kind of an anomaly. I'm just saying, like, you probably don't hold that against him for the rest of the season if you're seeing positive gains and development throughout practice, right? Like,
well,
that's
but you answered your own question about why they draft a linebacker there.
I just gotta laugh at that because here we are, right? So like, doors open for you, Ruben. They clearly you know, Nomad was kind of alluding to it in the nicest way. Sometimes you know, man, you see, like on this show, I always have to come off as the asshole. This is bullshit. I just wanted to put that out.
A personal choice, and
it's not a personal choice. It's just sometimes you know, you're looking at this situation, and you can't get hyperbolic about it, but they drafted other linebackers specifically, and went out and got one in free agency and scooped one up. All of this over and above the guy they drafted the year before, right? So, do we need help at linebacker? We did. I think that's more or less sort of shaked out. Hey, you know what? Let's go. We should probably go get Jack back too. Let's go get Jack, bring Jack back to the team.
Well, that should tell you some things, man.
It does, and that's why I'm talking about
help. I need somebody.
There's a Beatles song about it, right? So
somebody's not coming along quite at the pace they thought he would.
Not just not at that pace. He may not be coming on at all.
Well,
he also may have fallen out with the coaching staff to some degree as well.
I say all the time, and it comes down to bandwidth, bro. Like, how fast is this guy receiving information, disseminating the information, and putting it on the field? Is it at the pace that we need it to? Okay, we're a year removed from him being drafted. Now we're in this particular part of the offseason. He has some time to get it together. Are we seeing what we needed to see? Is he missing reads? Is he missing his keys? All this kind of stuff. And it's kind of the same. This is when the coaches meet and they have these conversations. I'm kind of seeing the same stuff. What do we need to do here? We need to get a veteran, give him some more time. And that's where we are right now. It could be simple as that.
Well, this is you again in the nicest way possible saying,
get it together.
Well, not just get it together, that he's not cutting the mustard. He may have fallen out with the coaching staff. Your opportunities now, Ruben, if there ever was, you need to take that brass ring, man, and do what you need to do to potentially secure yourself a position, if not a starting position, even a position as a backup, as a linebacker on this team, because it doesn't look to me as an outside guy looking in. It doesn't look to me like they have a lot of faith in the Ruben Hippolyte story.
All right, I'll tell you what, man, and this is just not I got to speed it up a little bit, and I got one to talk about, and that's just because he's a free agent, and I told you guys we need to talk about some of these guys available. Not only that, is my superstar is here on vacation, man. My little lady, and I told her I wasn't gonna be here forever like we normally do, but I got 3 or 4 or 5 more conversations to have right here, but we'll put it on pause and save it for Wednesday night on some extra sauce. But we do have one more player to talk about, and I can't wait to hear this reaction. This is another player out there, and it's available. This is edge rusher Preston Smith, 33 now. He's 6'5", 265 pounds. Trip, just shut your face, man. He can still bring something to the table, man. Just be quiet with all that. I'm telling you, he can bring something supplementary to a role here, especially with one of the guys that we ain't talked about yet, and that's Shemar, who was expected to probably take some edge rusher reps during this camp. He's also on the pup list, and I don't know how long that's going to last and how viable he can be for this season. And we know where we are as far as edge rusher depth goes. We're thin, and I do think that they're waiting until the last minute, putting the pads on these guys, and once the pads come on for about a week, I think we're going to see some shake them up. And so one of these guys that we've been talking about this offseason, there's a few more to talk about, but Preston Smith is a guy that can still bring it to the table. Not a starter, but this guy is good at just plain old playing edge rusher in a 4-3 style defense. Got all the traits to fit too. And I know he's an ex-Packer, so y'all shut up too.
You have to end with that, right? Like that's the one. I'm just saying that's the one part where I'm like, oh, I
know somebody gonna go there, man.
It was probably gonna be me. I hate that as a potential idea, but they can afford him. I think he can still play. Like I can't say that he can't.
What is he worth? Like 1.6, 1.7?
Less than $2 million, right? Like that's really where I'm at as a rotational player. That's probably perfect for not just him but for the team. Just line them up, edge rush situations, go. The rest of it, let the rest of the guys handle what's there.
Hold on. Shout out to No Dogman. It just busted up in here.
Yo, no, what up?
What up?
But yeah, I mean, he didn't last season. He didn't take a lot of snaps. Didn't get a lot of progress.
He didn't belong in that defense. That was a 3-4. He doesn't belong there.
I'm just saying he just didn't get a lot done last season.
He was with I take that back.
Was he on the other side of
he was with Washington last year, but the year or somewhere during the year or last year before that, he was with Pittsburgh.
So Pittsburgh,
that defense.
Pittsburgh is still kind of like, let's just be real here. So he's tail end of this man's career. It hasn't been great, like 5 sacks here at Pittsburgh on a 17 game season, 13 games in Washington, 1 sack.
Every time you do that, kid, you know that, right?
Say what?
You're gonna irritate me every single time you do that.
I give 0 fucks about irritating.
I know, but I know you don't give a fuck. But I'm just telling you, man. Every time you go to the numbers,
well, I'm just looking. I have to look at the snaps. Like I have to look at the numbers. What kind of production are we actually going to get out of a 33-year-old player? What can we potentially expect out of Preston Smith?
Performance, and it may not end up in sacks, man.
And that's fine. It might end up as tackles. His tackles are not something that I would be talking about here. Period. He's not really a major. He's not really a major force with respect to.
It can bring.
I'm not
some good complementary performance in when he has to rush the passer.
Look, the only reason I'm saying I'm not saying that tackling isn't important at the edge. I'm saying that his tackle numbers over his career aren't awesome, and that's why I kind of ignored them. But now we're getting into that too, right? Like he's better as a pass rusher from a numbers perspective when given a fair amount of snaps. I don't see him getting a lot of snaps. It's going to be strictly rotational.
That's all we need.
Under normal pretenses, I would fully agree. I don't. Like, if we can get the same output that he gave in Pittsburgh, it's not for $2 million. It's not a bad move. The output in a 3-4, again, wrong scheme for this particular player. Just wasn't quite what it was. It was definitely not what he expected, nor Washington would have expected last year. That's all I can say, because I don't think he's the same guy as he was starting 17 games for Green Bay in 2020.
I would probably agree with you had I not watched the Washington tape. In Pittsburgh, that's a different kind of role. He was trimmer, a little slimmer, because he had to fall back in coverage at times. So I'd say he probably played at about 260 in Pittsburgh. The 265, he's probably more like 270, 275, to be honest with you, when you see him playing in Washington, where he could pick up a little bit more weight and play in a traditional 4-3 defense. So I would agree with you until I seen that tape. And I seen the Washington tape. I'm just like, that's Preston Smith. He's playing a supplementary role there. And so what I'm telling you is he can bring something. He's got a little snap and pop, and he can pop out on you. So I think that's a piece to keep an eye on. 33 years old, and I'm a kind of slide Trips direction here. That's if you're only gonna do it for a year, great. But anything beyond that is ridiculous with him.
Yeah, and there have been other free agent defensive ends mentioned, that I would probably prefer over Preston Smith. So, don't want to have to need them. But if we did, he's a little bit lower on the list.
I understand. But I know we need a guy if some of these other guys don't show and tell during this camp. We're going to need a guy. That's just the bottom line. If some of these guys don't emerge here, I mean, in a big way, there's going to be a guy added here. If they serious as SHIT about moving the sticks here, they got to get a guy. And if a supplementary piece, I'm good with a supplementary piece. I think we get too. I think we dramatize. It's too dramatic when people think about the edge rusher role, and people start thinking about sacks, and that's all they think about. We need pressure. Pressure comes in so many different forms, man. And so we just need somebody that can play the role. When he's called on, can you get the job done? That's all I care about anyway. So he's Preston Smith is one of those guys that no matter where he goes, he lines up and gets the role taken care of. He's not a starter any longer. At 33, he is a supplementary player. Know that up front. But I think he adds something to the room here if we have to go there.
Was Buffalo running a 4-3 under the previous coach?
Yes, they were. It was hybrid though.
It was a hybrid 4-3. Okay.
Yep. I love that defense. I would hate to be a quarterback trying to execute against that defense, but I love that defense.
Yeah, there's an old guy that Tripp would hate me talking about now that Preston Smith is off. An old dude, old, but he still produces. And I'm just wondering what he got paid last time around, because like, what the hell? We trying to go to the big dance.
Okay, one more thing before we get out.
Conversation.
I see you, Shad. Keep bringing it. One more thing, and we should have probably started here. However, we're talking about Ryan Poles here, and him sitting in the catbird seat, listening to his coaches, listening to the people around him, his money people, making sure that whatever they're doing, they're reaching out, at least reaching out to some availabilities here. Do you think there'll be a move that happens between now and the end of training camp? Or two?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Where and why?
I can't say that, though.
I can. I'll start with two places.
Okay. You're going to say safety. But
I'll go three.
Oh.
I'm going to say edge rusher, possibly. Strong possibility. I'm going to say slot cornerback. If Kyler comes up a little, we get late into training camp and we still got the same problem, strong possibility. Safety, very strong possibility. 3 moves.
I don't know. Like I like those moves. Are logical because of questions at the starting spots and or depth. But I would definitely say Ryan Poles is always, as he states, looking to improve the team. So if there's a player that becomes available because of who knows why, and it's like, hey, I think that guy could be our answer at left tackle, at defensive end, at linebacker, at safety, at cornerback, if you will, wherever. If it's a deal to be made, Ryan Poles is not afraid to pull the trigger on that deal.
I agree with you, Tripp.
Left tackle. Oh, that's a good one.
I agree with you, Tripp, across the board. It's just, for me, I think we're about 2.5 weeks out of anything happening. I think where we are right now, the young rookies get their time to shine. The team as it's designed today gets to put the pads on, and the coaching staff more or less gets to build their evaluation. And once they're at that, post-evaluation case scenario where they're like, all right, like, we don't see it with this player and that player, and these guys are likely going to get cut. But once the cuts are done, we still feel like we could be better here, and here, or we're perfect. You know what I mean? It's really something in between those two. That's when I think Ryan Poles will probably go back to the well and be like, yo, who's out there? Can I wheel and deal something to make this team a little bit better before we get deep into this season? like I say, I think we're a couple of weeks out, but I do expect him to do something.
Mhm.
I'll be remiss to say that I don't expect it to be at the edge. I do expect it to likely be at the nickel position, if not safety. And the reason I say safety is because I don't get what they're doing, but they clearly know something.
Well,
And
let me
they've
throw
brought
something at
4
you.
safeties in this week. So
Yeah, let me throw that back at you, kids, because I want to see you and Trips. What do you think when Orion Poles brings in not just any safety, he brings in 4 safeties, all pretty much every last one of them are from the UFL, or what is it that I think it's UFL,
sure.
and every last one of them's from there. What goes through your mind? I got some thoughts. I can start if you want me to and tell you what I had in mind.
Sure. Go ahead.
Agents doing favors for agents and still getting a chance to get a look at some talent. But there's no chance in hell that you bring in right before camp. You bring in 1, maybe 2 as a push, UFL guys, but all 4. That means you're staying connected to some agents, and you want to publicize it. You want to make sure that they know that we acknowledge you. We want to keep the connection with you. We're gonna bring 4 of you guys, or 2 of your guys, 1 of your guys, and another one of your guys. We're gonna bring them all in here and work them out. Maybe we'll give them a chance to get a signing, get a camp opportunity. But that says to me that they're working on relationships with these agents, and I think that's a good thing. What y'all think?
What does having a tryout do for those players?
It gives them exposure, number 1, so people can actually see what they look like up close and personal. Because people they see you playing in a certain level as a football player. They want to see what you look like on the turf inside their building. When I'm seeing my other guys doing the same things, do you match up with that capability? Well, I like how he's doing this. I like how he's doing that. Let's consider giving him a camp opportunity. It's exposure. You cannot lose as a player getting that opportunity if you're one of those guys.
All right. So it's an agent play. Like that's fine by me. I'm just wondering really here, are they signaling that they need help at the safety position? Or do you feel that this is again a case scenario where this is more of a, hey, you guys, here's a position to fill. Maybe we just want to see some players and we want to sort of help you guys with these particular players. Like I don't.
It could absolutely be the free agent market. The NFL free agent market is a little watered down, and they either tired of the same recycled guys, or they priced out of some of these jobs, and maybe they think they can get some of these guys for like damn near rookie contract money or something. I don't know.
Now you're hitting it. Actually, now you're nailing it. It's because they're broke, right? They ain't broke, but
the next move should be Darnell Wright extension. Now, with that free up money, with that help kids,
we definitely in the cheap seats when it comes to some of this shit, man.
There's no freeing up money. Like
there's going to be some freeing up money, kid.
Well, I mean, if they give him an extension and bonus him up, that could free up cap space for this year.
Give who the extension? These
Darnell Wright.
Okay, yeah, because they're paying him something this year, anyways, right? They could shift numbers into bonus and outside of salary, and potentially get a couple of bucks here and there for the season. So maybe, fair, right? Like that's something that they could do as far as the negotiation is concerned. The flip side of this is just these guys from the UFL, you pay them league minimum to play.
Well, let's stick to Darnell Wright for a second, kids. I think Trips might have scratched off a scab here maybe, just maybe, the impetus of everything moving forward has to kind of land behind this deal that needs to happen, and probably as soon as possible. Negotiations going on right now. They want to see how the structure of this deal is going to work for them, and then everything else financially works from that. That makes sense.
Well, it's not crazy, but there's like there really isn't much money to work with right now. Like they're down to approximately $9 million. This guy's contract's probably gonna look closer to $20 million. They can move shit around here and there, but his contract is, so there's potential for it to cost 25. Right, his contract is going to be significant, no matter how you slice it.
Wouldn't it make more sense to make sure this gets squared up and then everything else kind of trickles from there?
Here's the only reason why I'm going to say maybe not. And the only reason I say maybe not is because you can free up so much cap early 2027, right? Like you could clean up all kinds of cap.
Dog, that's the only problem I have. That's the issue I got, kids. Is
what?
Is performance is gonna probably raise the value so much more than you getting it done right now. I think you waited. We lucky we in this spot right now as we are. If this guy goes out there and starts to topple the performance that he put out there last year, dog, we in trouble.
Well, like I'm saying, we're not, because again, you have the ability to move off of some of these hamstrung contracts that we got signed into.
Do you think the Darnell Wright move needs to happen this year?
I think he means more as like, if you're saying if we extend Darnell Wright for $20 million this season, we're good. Whereas Nomad saying if he,
it might cost 35, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. No, and like I hear what you're saying. It's always better to sign any player early into their contract, and it has a lot to do with the players play over the course of the next season. It also has to do with the market itself, because you have no control over what another team decides to pay their right tackle, and that might set the market. The market might reset itself. I know that the last big right tackle signing was 25 or close to it, and this is where the discussions go a little bit wild. So, if we move into post 2026, moving into 2027, it could be 35 mil. If it's 35 mil, that's definitely a heck of a lot more than I think they want to spend. But at the same time, it would prompt them to make a fair amount of moves to make that possible.
But then it also shows just one more point here. As general manager to the team, it's like Darnell Wright is in his window to be extended, and I don't think anybody would say that he has not earned it. So rewarding, his drafted players that he decides to keep, getting them squared away contract-wise early, and now having the flexibility to still do things, because remember, we got, to pay a quarterback coming up soon. So you got to have it all lined up to where you can fill a team with talent and be able to pay the majority of guys something without busting the bank.
Yeah, Trips. I think this, I'm going to be honest with you before we get off of this subject. I think this Darnell Wright situation screams at me, wrestle this damn bull down by the horns and take your scrapes, your scratches, your wounds, your bruises now.
Gouges.
Take them. And you got one thing down at a time. Yeah, you got to kind of play 3D financial chess a little bit along the way, but wrestle this shit down and don't make it more complicated than it has to be. It's not Nashawn Wright situation where it just pops out of nowhere, and next thing you know, you got a financial situation that you got a player that you want, but he's outpriced for what you got planned. You know exactly where this train is headed. Wrestle this shit down, get it squared up, and I think that's the way to go with Darnell Wright.
Here's the flip side of this conversation. I have to knock multiple times before I open my mouth here, but there's also the maybe that he regresses and or something happens and the numbers go the other direction, right? They go south. So
yeah, I don't see that happening.
I don't either, but it could, and if it does, then that makes it easier for the Bears to sign him. Although Bears will have other issues, right? So take that for what it's worth. We'll have to say we have a month to pay him, Lewis says, and Lewis, I wish I could argue with that. I just don't know how they do it. They're gonna have to get creative here because again, there's only $9 million to talk about.
Hey, remember, Poles hired him a Jew. He's good.
Oh, okay. That's helpful.
Darnell Wright, man. I think this is this doesn't have to be a problem. This doesn't have to be a problem. But, you know, who knows who's in Poles' ear and how they want to play this shit out. But this right here, you wrestle this down, you got some kind of cap stability that you can sit on and kind of really play some other stuff out after you get this settled down. You can start really thinking about some of the little details like the safety roles, or, you know, if you had to go do something in some other role, you got some definite, I know I can do this, or I know I can't do that going on that comes with if you get him signed. So you got that.
Damn. Yeah. We'll see. I do agree. It is in their best interest to lock this situation up and move off it because, like, you know, facts is a bunch of like this team got better, and depending on how this season plays out, there could be a lot of money floating around that roster, right? So there could also be a fair amount of money leaving the roster. So we'll really have to see what happens in 2027 with respect to all this. And why I'm jumping over there is because they got to figure things out to potentially sign Caleb Williams as well.
Yeah,
right?
I love the rich talent problem.
That's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah,
First world problems.
Yeah. That's a good problem.
That problem.
We haven't had that issue for a minute.
No, we haven't, and it's kind of about damn time that we did. That being the case, yeah, there's, you know, I hear what you're saying, and I also feel that it will not happen.
Just go ahead and read his comment.
Sure, man. King Book of World says, I don't think it will happen, but I hope Caleb goes the Brady route. Take what you can, but leave something left over to add and keep talent. So here's the thing. I really don't see that being the case either. But here's what might happen, right? Like, here's what I'm hoping.
Maybe in the third contract, but not this second one.
Well, here's what I'm hoping goes down. So Mahomes did something interesting, which does spark conversation, and that is he signed sort of a longer-term deal. Guaranteed a number, he got the number, but the deal was for a fair amount longer than most QB deals are. That's kind of closer to what I would like Caleb to do. Get your bag, dog. Like, I know you're trying to get the bag. Get your bag.
Make it for 10 years or something.
Lock him down, make it for 10 years so that it's not an issue. The fact is that over the course of 10 years, the quarterback market is going to be reset so many times that it'll be by year 10, you're laughing, right? Like you're going to be laughing regardless. So you extend things out as long as you can. You keep the kid here, and you know it might take up a big chunk of that cap space, but at the very least, you know you can backfill and make some additions as required and push some of that money into bonus, etc.
And then if you look at what just the differences in Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. the way they structured things is just different because times were different. The player contract NFL negotiation shit was different in the sense that yes, the starting franchise quarterback is going to make multi-millions a year. You know, Brady at his peak was not making what Mahomes is making. But Brady has been retired, you know, for a while now, but he has outside interest that pay him, you know, multi-million dollars a year, you know, with his in the booth, you know, commenting all of the other ads and commercials and products. So the revenue stream can go well beyond football for some players, not so much for others. But as a quarterback, if you're Caleb Williams, and we know that, you know, his family's about their business, not mad at him for it. You know, they're making investments now and they're, you know, looking at other revenue streams. So they're going to be very smart and very prudent with his finances. And they're going to want to maximize what they want. But I don't know where it's going to fall as far as team friendly versus, hey, I want to get every penny I can, or I want to take, you know, my share here and then, you know, leave the rest for the rest of the team. I don't know where they're going to fall on that. But the opportunity to make money is always going to be there for the franchise quarterbacks.
Hey,
Well,
Chris, I gotta say this before we get ready to wrap this up. I do gotta go, man, because I can feel the tension from on the other side of the door. I'll just say that.
oh,
Let me just say this. We got to stop putting Caleb in that conversation with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes until he gets some goddamn jewelry. Number one, but financially, I can see how the marketplace does suit Caleb in a big, big way, even without a ring. But I'm talking about as a fan, I just want to pump the brakes. And he goes out there and performs this year, then everything I just said is nil. And he's gonna deserve everything that he got coming to him. And if it breaks the bank, it ain't gonna hurt me. Could hurt the team a little bit, but you know, whatever it is, let's just hold up and let him go out here and make this something to remember before we put him in that conversation. But marketability is marketability, and Caleb is marketable, and he can make a whole lot of damn money. Let's just say that. And Trips is right, and that revenue stream doesn't end when he gets off the between the hashes of the football field. It continues and continues.
so I hear where you're at, but ring. I'd love for him to get a ring before the contract is done. I don't see that happening. Well, like, it's not a requirement. I'm just saying there's a ton of quarterbacks out there who've gotten the bag without rings. I could list them, but we will be here much longer than I think your girlfriend would appreciate. In any event, you know, it's next. The conversation is next year from an extension perspective, and you could just, depending on how he does this year, you could just move right into full contract and extend that out now, and probably save yourself a year of increase, given the market fluctuations.
Shit, and I don't know if Jay Grizz is being funny, but shit, while you bullshitting, he said, "I'm sure the nail polish deal is just right around the corner, though." You know how much the fashion and makeup and that industry makes?
What are you gonna get?
And you don't think he ain't gonna capitalize? Shit.
No, endorsements do count, Jay Grizz. It's actually how, as you guys were explaining, it's how Tom Brady really made his money. A lot of the Patriots endorsements were lined up for Tom Brady specifically to make up for the fact that he was taking a bit of a bath. From a contractual perspective, he was never at league like average. Quite similar things are happening with Patrick Mahomes as well. We all are well familiar with all the State Farm and ketchup commercials and all that fun stuff. Kermit's getting it done too. So I would expect no less Hopefully it ain't for, well, you know what I mean? I won't be a nail polish purchaser ever. But there's definitely a market for it. People buy it. And I'm sure they'll buy it with Caleb Williams' endorsement as well.
Before we get out of here, I do want to say about the marketplace. And this goes and leads into Wednesday's show. We're talking about some stuff on some extra sauce, but I don't know if people are really, really dialed into marketplace and marketplace activities, what's trending, what's not. Let's just say the market standard. Let's just start it there. The market standard is changing right in front of our faces. Everything is changing. Every last bit of that. And the marketplace that favored this or that yesterday can be flipped upside down tomorrow. And so just know that. And I'm not saying that to dampen anybody's spirit about what Caleb can and can't do. It's not my money. I don't care how much money he gets. To be honest with you. If he gets $1 billion, I don't care. It's about what can this young black male achieve in this marketplace. And I said black male for a reason. It's extremely difficult for people of color in this marketplace. You gotta be something different. And hopefully you don't have to compromise too much of yourself to get to a certain place financially. But you can understand what a young guy like him could be thinking in his head and trying to make sure he maximizes this opportunity that's before him. But first, he got to put in another year of service to the community of the Chicago Bears and deliver. Once he does that, and it's all fair game after that, he's going to go wherever the tide takes him. For the most.
He break that magic number we always talking about. People always talking about. They'll throw. I don't know where the bag gonna come from, but they're gonna hit him square in the face, in the mouth with it. And it's about as easily said as that. Donna Burr, as the scrolls would say, mentioned something about
girl.
Mentioned something about the good old points off the organization thing that Caleb did talk about. Somehow David Beckham, he ain't even that good as a soccer player. Rolled out into Miami and got a big chunk of their entire organization to the point that he can break off Lionel Messi with a bunch of money as well as some points off that little organization in Miami Inter. I'm just letting y'all know. Strange things could be done. I would not be angry in the least if the McCaskies slash Ryans and whoever the shareholders are decide to bless a young man with generational money by way of ownership. Why am I saying this? Ownership is not cap space.
All right. You're trying to open up a whole nother conversation that we cannot have right here, right at this time. It's worthy of a good conversation. And I'm not scared to cross that threshold with you.
Nope, that's not. Let's put a pin in this.
Yeah,
and I can go watch House of the Dragon.
And I'm gonna do a little shortcut in the round. Thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody for the gifts, the jewels, everything that they brought to the channel. Thank everybody for being here. Shout out to Sports Chicago Style, Tips in his channel. Shout out to Kez Canuck, Kez in his channel. And over here at the Nomad Network, where we do what we do, man. We appreciate the love, man. Don't forget, man, always show as much support as you can to the guys that ain't chasing money all the time out here in this YouTube space. I'm intentional about it. I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing your support because you know what? Guess what? Yesterday, we was in somebody's chat having the same conversations y'all having with us here. And we don't forget that. We don't forget that around here. We stay true to who we are as a Bears community and staying interactive with y'all, making sure y'all know whatever y'all got to say counts over here. It might get banned. It might get kicked out of the chat because you said the wrong something. But trust me, we appreciate the interaction and the love y'all give us over here, man. We love y'all. And that's clear on all 3 channels that we have going on right now. I just wanted to say one more time how much we appreciate this community, because it's gotten us where we are, man. Everybody flourishes off of it, man. So thank you guys once again, but I got to leave you guys with these famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.